TikTok time to rock. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. Your friendly neighborhood philosopher here, D Wood. With me now, I've got Turkish AP and Aussie AP. How do you say that anyway? Aussie,
Aussie,
Aussie, huh?
Aussie Abe, just Aussie.
So Aussie, like Ozzy
Oh,
Osbourne.
yeah, yeah.
Aussie.
Just with an Australian spelling.
Okay, Aussie.
Aussie,
All right,
Aussie.
all right, guys. So we got Turkish AP. Nope, nope. He abandoned Turkey. We have American AP and Aussie AP. How's everyone doing?
It's kind of funny because he looks like me. He looks like a copy of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We got wait, Aussie Abe isn't white. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on there, man?
I've got a funny story. I was a teacher up in Brazil at an American school, and they told all the students, "Oh, we have an Australian coming up, and he's going to teach you guys." And I I got in first day, and everyone was like, "Wait, what's going on here?" We were expecting like a Crocodile Dundee kind of dude, and look at this. This is They weren't too happy with that, so I guess I disappoint people.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Wait. You don't have to share your exact age, but what are you like? 28, 30, somewhere in there?
You'd flatter me. I am 34.
Oh, okay, 34. So you're definitely too young to remember Jocko. Let me find Jocko.
Yeah, I'm young. I'm too. Yeah, too
hey,
young for
hey,
that.
hey, guys. Who now? Don't go looking it up. Don't go looking it up and cheating. Don't go looking it up and cheating. Um, how many of you? And you have to be like at least around my age, or you won't remember because I was a kid. But how many of you remember the Australian Jocko who used to do the Energizer commercials? Tell the
Oh,
tell the truth. Tell the truth. Don't lie.
oh yeah, I remember from just 2 seconds ago when I first saw it on YouTube.
Would you look it up?
Yeah.
Hang on. Where is the search? Okay. My browser won't come up. Hang on. Jocko Energizer. Let's see. Not
Yeah, no,
me. Someone said I know the brother, but I don't know if he means you. I don't know if he means Aussie Abe or Jocko. Oh yeah. Hey, and then Jack Ray even remembers the Highwayman TV show. Did you look that up, Jack Ray? Because I remember that. That was my favorite show, but it didn't last long. Uh, and then to give him a different name, for the show, they called him Jetto. Jetto. That's what they came up with. Hang on, let me get a picture of this dude. Jocko, man. I found Jocko here. Hang on. Just pulling this up. People say I remember the creepy Duracell commercials. Wrong. You know what's crazy? This guy was so memorable. I still remember all the commercials, even though I was in like fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, somewhere in there. But it'd be, it's the new Energizer. It'll surprise you. And one of these, and in one of these, and one of these lasts longer than all the rest to write the extraordinary Energizer. It'll surprise you. And he'd always end with, oi! And that's how we learned, that's how a generation of young Americans learned oi. So anyway, this is Jocko. He
Right.
was back in the day, he was an Aussie soccer player.
Right. Yeah, not ringing a bell.
Okay.
My
Be-
my our icons in my era is like Crocodile Dundee, Steve Irwin. Pretty much that's
Crocodile
from
Dundee is
that.
around the same time as this guy, man. But
Really? Oh,
this guy did.
no.
Yeah, it being in a couple commercials is different from like being in a movie that like everyone loves for
Yeah.
forever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, that's Jocko. Uh,
You know
I
what's
want to. I
funny?
want to.
Until just now, I didn't realize that that Aussie Abe is the Aussie Abe.
Who do you think it was, man?
I couldn't make the connection for some reason. I was completely off. Like, wait a minute, Aussie Abe. Oh,
I was expecting something a little more Crocodile Dundee, Steve Irwin-ish. Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah,
you
Hey,
tricked
because
us
you're
all, man. You
racist.
tricked us all.
it's got nothing to do with your origin or anything. I just didn't for some reason make the connection to your name and what we always say, Aussie Abe.
Funny.
Man.
Hey, someone here saying Mad Max character type, and then someone said Mad Max. What are you talking about, Jocko Man? Wasn't in Mad Max, but this guy says
He was he in Mad Max?
no.
You see how messed up this is? Like David scheduled a live stream. It's supposed to be about preaching Jesus. Instead of preaching about Jesus, he preached about Jocko. This is clickbait.
You gotta connect with people, man. You gotta connect with people. They're on the
Yeah, we got
opposite
it.
side of the world, so everything is opposite for them. And so, anyway, but
It
apparently,
is true, and right now our icon is Lily J, so we gotta fix that one up.
You're very
these
lucky.
are good times. These are good times. All right, guys. So, Aussie Abe. Well, before we even start the video, why don't you tell us what you guys did? Because you were telling us you were going to do it, and then you did it, and then you posted a video of you doing it.
Yeah. So basically, like
Oh,
3
hey,
weeks ago, we started up
for
the.
people who are asking, yes, he has an awesome, way better library than me and AP have. Yes.
Yeah, just I'm competing with Uthman. Have a look. It goes for miles. Look at that. Look at that. It keeps
Well,
going,
if
keeps going, keeps going.
if
Look.
you read one, you're already beating him.
Yeah.
No, guys, I just told Aussie Abe a couple hours ago. I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, we're gonna watch your video. So if you catch this in time, and I don't know if he would because he's on the opposite side of the world, but I said, hey, if you want, you could jump in, and so he jumped in there, and yeah, but he's
Yeah,
there.
I was there. I'm at a public bookstore, so yeah, I got a good bookshelf in the back.
Yeah,
I
pretty
didn't make
nice.
it with my own hands though. There's also
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, our YouTube channel, we started that up like 3 weeks ago. So we hit the Mardi Gras parade, sorry, and that one gained a little bit of traction, not too much, 2,000 views. That was our first video. But this one going to Ramadan in Lakemba, we're up to, I think, close to 90K views. Completely organic. It was wild.
That is it. By the
So
way,
I guess that,
little side note. Little side note. I've been doing this. I've been doing YouTube for a minute now, and that's a huge start. Just so you know, that is a huge start.
yeah, yeah, we were not expecting that.
So
But I guess because it's trending, it's pretty big news down here in Australia. The whole Islamic thing. There's a bit of polarization there. I don't know if you know Pauline Hanson with One Nation. No, so she's a part of a political party called One Nation, and so basically she's been kind of pushing against like the communities like Lakemba, which are considered no-go zones. Like they have a two-tier kind of system, and so because of her rhetoric, when we said we're going to Lakemba and we put that in the video, I think that just made it take off like wild. So yeah,
And
we decided. Sorry. Yeah.
oh no, I was just going to point out. You guys keep doing it and keep keep going out there and keep recording. Doesn't seem nearly as common down there as it is in like the UK with like Speaker's Corner, or the US and like God Logic
Mm,
going around places and stuff like that. So basically that could be super cutting edge down there.
it's really uncommon. And even with ministries and churches that do engage the Muslim communities, they have a very like build a bridge kind of approach, which look, they do it because they don't want to offend. And like it's kind of like the cardinal ethic in Australia is do not offend. Just
What
don't
the
offend
heck is that?
people, respect people.
You're a nation of criminals. Like where did you somehow get all these like super lofty
I know,
rules?
I know, I know.
it's a
I,
good point.
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't vibe with our history. But basically a lot of the people that do minister to Muslims, they have a very soft, gentle approach, and I guess that can be good to a certain extent. But they say that this is a way that doesn't invite hostility. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't bring about aggression. But at the same time, they notice that when they're softer, when they're gentle with the Muslims are happy and comfortable with that approach. But that doesn't reach them, right?
Why would you want to
You've
make
got
them
to actually push. Yeah. And again, that's pretty much how a lot of churches and a lot of ministers and a lot of people who I actually do respect the way they approach it, because they see it as a very sensitive, hot button issue. But for us, we're like, well, you don't have to be, you don't have to be a jerk about it, but
Yeah.
you can be assertive, you can be confident, you can go out and just confront people with the truth. And I would respect them if they believe they have the truth and they want to confront me. Go for gold, man. Like I've got no, I can defend my position. Um, yeah. So that's kind of just our take, is like we're not going out there to for controversy's sake, but we're going out there because people need the gospel, people need Jesus, and we shouldn't have to cower in fear.
Yeah, absolutely. So, based on what you just said, and keep in mind, I know very little about the situation down there. Like the last time I was like really paying attention was back when it was a pastor, Pastor Daniel Scott. This was like, gosh, 15 years ago maybe, but he was a pastor from from Pakistan. He got a death sentence on him in Pakistan. He was like a professor or something like that, but he got a death sentence on him in Pakistan. So he
Hmm.
moved to Australia with his family, and he starts criticizing Islam down there. And it's just like he's like academic. He's not like eating the Quran or something like that, like AP does.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so he's just like criticizing what's in the Quran and the calls for jihad and stuff. But they charged him. They charged him and brought him to court. Fortunately, he won. But it was such an interesting thing. Like it's at his trial and stuff, and he starts going like, I am offended at these verses, and he start reading the Quran, and the Muslim side would object. But no, it's offensive to us to hear a non-Muslim reading the Quran. It's offensive to us, and they'd like shut it down. But it was like absolutely insane. Um, yeah,
yeah.
really weird, really weird stuff there. Um, on you, what's funny is I didn't think of it until Jai said it, but Jai said, when people don't look like what you think, can't relate. That's funny because it's like you guys are the complete
That was the shock.
reverse. I thought Jai was like Arab, and then he turned out to be what I thought you'd look like, right? But then you kind of look like what I thought Jai would look like. So anyway, it's a, I don't know, weird situation, man.
We're breaking all the stereotypes. I love it.
Um, let's we got a few questions and comments for you here. Let's see. Here we have
I don't
Muslims love. What do you say, AP?
I don't like talking to people who are not white. So
Yeah, we know. But we have Muslims love weak Christians. That's going back to what you were saying. If you're super nice and super polite and you tiptoe around them and you never say a word of criticism, they'll love you.
Oh
They'll
yeah, they
they'll
love
they'll
it.
they'll be
You're
super
a
nice.
pushover.
They will never respect you. If you blast away, you come in like just blasting, hitting with the gospel, defending everything, criticizing Muhammad, they will scream and moan and wail. They will respect you though. They won't admit it, but they will respect you.
Well, it's interesting because so at the same event we went to, there is a ministry called the Peace Tent there. I don't know if you watched the video, David, but there's a ministry there called the Peace Tent, and they've been there for 8 years. And basically, they have this tent. They invite Muslims to come in and have conversations about, Christianity, about Islam, whatnot. So they have like little prayer mats and rugs and pillows. Um, but Muslims don't respect that. They just don't.
Mm-mm.
They'll go in, they're fine with it, they're comfortable with it, but they don't respect it because there's nothing there that is a threat to them. There's no threat to their ideologies. There's no threat to um, the dean, and there needs to be that little bit of a threat in order for them to actually respect, like a pushback.
Yeah, and so based on the little bit you've told us here, it sounds like basically where the U.S. was like 20 years ago, because that's when I
Yeah,
was kind of getting
yeah,
started. When I was kind of getting started, it was standard. It was, hey, you're a Christian, you want to preach, great. Just talk about the gospel. Under no circumstances
hmm
do you criticize Muhammad or the Quran. Don't ever do it. And it was Arab Christians. It was Arab Christians. It was Zachariah Boutros and Brother Rashid and so on are saying, no, you gotta be blasting away at Muhammad and the Quran, or they're not listening to you, and
yeah,
they're not taking you seriously. And then I found that out from Nabil, but at the time I just thought it was Nabil. I didn't know it was like just like extremely common way of thinking. But
mm,
I've mentioned this many times before. But Nabil and I were watching a debate. It was Jamal Badawi versus William Lane Craig. William Lane Craig just completely crushed Jamal Badawi to the point where Badawi got all flustered and started yelling. And Nabil and I
hmm
finished watching the debate, and I said, I would have scored it like 95-5 if I were being
yeah,
generous. It was such a massacre. And we finished, and so I said, "So Nabil, what'd you think?" And he goes, "Oh, Badawi clearly won." I was going, "Like, what did you just see?" Because you know there are people who will just side with whoever their debater is, but Nabil's not like that. He said that Mike Licona won the debate versus Shabir Ali, and so he doesn't just side with whoever the debater on his side is. So I was like, what were you seeing right there? And it took a while to unpack, but. Um, in America, if we see someone get flustered and start yelling, we think you're losing. You lost. You're getting
mm,
desperate. And so you're screaming because you know you're losing and you don't know what to do. The Christian debater's calm because he knows he's made all his points. He knows he's winning. He doesn't have anything to get upset about.
yeah,
Nabil broke it down to me. He said when Badawi started yelling, it's because he has a righteous anger that this other guy is blaspheming against God. It's like, why would you not get
mm,
upset about that? This guy's leading people astray and uttering all kinds of blasphemies about God. Badawi starting to yell shows that he knows he's right and that this other guy is blaspheming. William Lane Craig being calm means that he can't even get excited about what he's saying because deep down he doesn't believe it. And
hmm
so, you know, again, that was Nabil telling me this, and it's like, oh, so it's like almost a complete reverse from our thinking. You guys are
yeah,
looking at completely different things. And so, but anyway,
hmm
that was back then. But a bunch of people, in the meantime, a bunch of people caught on. A bunch of people caught on, and now seems like most people that go after Islam are very aggressive in the U.S. They're going after Muhammad. They're going after the Quran. Um,
yeah,
but so anyway, it sounds like down there you're kind of where the situation we were in like 15 years ago or so, 15,
hmm
20 years ago.
yeah,
It is a funny situation, you know. When they say they want to reach Muslims, they want to convert Muslims, they want to preach the gospel to Muslims, and they have to find an effective way of properly approaching the Muslims and all that. So, what do Muslims want from you if you talk to him? Muslims want you to be completely respectful, to be respectful
hmm
of everything they believe in, to be respectful of Muhammad, to not say anything that they disagree with. I'm sorry, what exactly are you there for? You are there to point
exactly.
out to them that they are wrong and that they need to be right, that they need to see the truth. If you simply want to appeal to whatever they expect from you, while Muslims are constantly on a mission, no matter whether if they're proselytizers or not, to convert others, then you are just
hmm
doing their work for them. Right? You're not supposed to do their work for them. They are supposed to be wrong, and you are supposed to be correct. You're supposed to be correcting them. You're supposed to be preaching to them why they are lacking, why they are wrong, and why they need this. If you start just going by their rules, you have already very much failed. You are basically abiding by Islam's standards, by the Muslim standards,
Yep.
and that doesn't work in the long term.
Oh, and by the way, what you were saying that you know they really like you if you're going in a certain way, non-confrontational, non-aggressive, and stuff like that. Um, but um, there were lots after people started getting aggressive with Islam over here and like going after Muhammad and the Quran. Um, I saw Christians that would kind of fall for like this low level manipulation tactic where they'd say, "See, we like you because you're not like those guys who are so
Mm,
offensive and mean. We like you." And I'd see these guys with ministries posting on their page, "See, I'm getting through to Muslims. They like me. I'm building bridges. They're going to listen to me." And it's like,
yeah.
no, they're using you and they're duping you. And they would even bring it up in like debates and stuff. And they go, yeah, yeah, why can't you be more like this? And then people would
Mm,
go, you see, they like it if you're more like that. And it's like, okay, guys, those of you who are falling for this, just say this out loud and tell me how you actually believe what you're saying. You think these Muslims are giving you valuable information on how to reach their fellow Muslims with the gospel. You think they're doing you think they're trying to tell you,
great logic.
guys, we really want you to be successful in reaching Muslims with the gospel. So we're praising you because you're doing it right. Or do you think they're more likely to say, okay, you're the guy that we don't view as any sort of threat to anything we're saying, and we can just walk all over you. So we really like you. Which do you think is more likely there? And
Exactly.
fortunately, people caught on over time. And here's what's crazy: the reason they caught on was not breaking all of that down. It was just they saw what Muslims were leaving Islam in response to. And it wasn't
Mm,
it wasn't it wasn't because of nice guys being nice to them. It just wasn't. They're looking, okay, where are Muslims leaving Islam? Oh, there and there and there and there and there. Okay, which people were talking to them? Oh, all these aggressive guys. And so anyway, people started reluctantly catching on to where you don't hear the objections nearly as much. But sounds like you still got, yeah, sounds like you guys are 15 years in the past down there. Is this true? Said Australia is a lefty hellhole and Islamist.
yes, definitely a leftist. The Islam part that is in certain pockets, it's still relatively small. Like consider Lakemba is very similar to like Dearborn, Michigan, but it still
Ah,
hasn't
okay, good.
trickled.
Hey, you
Yeah,
just I didn't know what you're talking about. Now all of a sudden, now that makes sense.
yeah. But it's still relatively under the radar, I would say, because it's in those pockets they're predominantly them. They're the majority, and they have an amount of power. Like Lakemba, the mayor is a Muslim, councillors are Muslims. They do Ramadan festivals, nothing for the Christians. It looks like I lived in Beirut. It looks like Beirut. It smells like Beirut. Rubbish everywhere. It's
You
terrible,
said it
right?
smells like Beirut.
Um, I'm telling you, it's wild. But they also have the largest mosque in Australia there. It is pristine, like it is
Wait, what
cared
the
for.
heck?
What?
I'm checking the demographics. It says in the 2021 census, the most common responses for religion were Islam, 61.2%, not
Hmm,
stated, 10%, Catholic, 8.8%, no religion, 6%, and Eastern Orthodox, 3.4%. What the heck, man?
yeah. So the majority of Australians are unaware of that, of what's going on, because a lot of Australians live
61%.
in, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And so no, no, yeah, it's fine. Like even today, Albanese, our prime minister, he was it today? No, yesterday. Sorry, for Eid, he went into the Lakemba Mosque for Eid, and he almost got lynched. Pretty much, it was wild. They were like he's been pandering to these people for decades. Finally goes into their area, their territory, and they hate him. They hate his guts. And you're like, what have you been pandering to for decades? Like what you've been trying to earn these people's votes, bowing down to them, doing everything they've asked for, and they still hate you. And he still won't change any of his policies. He still won't change his views. He still says that it's the backbone of our country. Yeah,
Yep. Sounds like you got some smart leaders down there. Hey, what's your opinion on emus?
Overrated. Yeah. You'll stand next to an emu. They'll just look at you. Can't
Except
ride one.
that legal emu and Doug from the commercials. They're pretty cool. Hey, we have here hook this guy up with Samuel Green, assuming they are close. You know Samuel Green?
I don't. Who is Samuel Green?
You don't know Samuel Green? He's the one who's been down there forever. If you go back to like 2008, 2009, it was basically Tony Costa in Canada. It was Jay Smith
Mm-hmm.
in the UK. There were like 3 or 4
Yeah.
of us in the US, and it was Samuel Green in Australia. And basically that's who was taking on Islam as far as like publicly and
Oh, okay.
so yeah. But nope, Samuel Green,
Yeah, I
he's
should
been
be
doing it well.
connected.
Absolutely.
I mean, I will say I did steer clear from the Islam thing for a while. I've been more in the pastoral ministry at the moment, and I've also been out of the country, out of Australia for about 13 years. So I just got back maybe 3, 4 years ago, and just started tackling the Islam thing now. So yeah, I'll get connected definitely.
All right, sounds cool. And all right, guys, let's take these first couple super chats, and then we'll jump into this video. They went to Muslim area during Ramadan, preaching the gospel. So we're gonna check that out. Fortunately, they recorded it. I've got a link in the description, also a link to their channel, new channel, but that video's taken off pretty darn well. So we'll check it out. Is Apologetics Roadshow in the room with us? No. I just did research and saw the Bible says James 2:14-26, faith without works is dead. That was Durant's point. I read X replies to D Wood and Zero knew it. Yeah. I was gonna record a video today, guys. It didn't work out with my wife is out right now. That's why I don't have headphones. I gotta listen for my son and stuff. So anyway, our schedules didn't line up, so I didn't record it. But gonna record it tomorrow. Gonna go through that interesting stuff. And I don't just mean that situation. I mean what that is the latest example of. Just people believing whatever they want to believe about anything and deciding what everything is based on what they like and don't like. And seems to be getting worse. Watching this live all night long, like Momo with Zut.
Hey, Netanyahu's office actually made a statement about the whole controversy, which I didn't expect at all, because normally he doesn't really respond to stuff like this. But he actually made a response on Twitter. The Prime Minister's office said that people are spreading lies that Netanyahu denigrated Jesus Christ, and he clearly did not. And I kind of briefly reiterated what he actually said and what he actually meant, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
He kind of took it as important.
You know what's weird? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like what they'd call Trump derangement syndrome, but it was it was like so there was some big controversy, some protests. I didn't even like follow it that much, but I've heard it like a million times. But it was some protest over whether to tear down like a Confederate statue or something like that. I think that's what that one was about. But so there were people saying, yeah, tear down get rid of the statue of any like Confederate leaders and stuff like that. And there were other people saying, no, it's part of the history of this area and stuff like this. So leave it up, even if you disagree with the person and so on. But then there were like some white supremacists or something who showed up. And so anyway, Trump said, hey, there are good people on both sides of this issue. And then he goes on to say, I'm not talking about the racists, not them. But everyone took it as racist versus non-racist, and he said there are good people on both sides, even though, like, if you just extend the clip for 5 seconds, he says, I'm not talking about the racist. But people rolled with it anyway, even though the people cutting it, they knew they were just completely ripping that out of context. And then later on, it gets pointed out, why don't you guys extend the context? And by that time, like, everyone knows that this was just completely ripped out of context, but they keep saying it anyway. And it's like, we think he's so evil that lying about him is just fine, right? And I was always saying, it's like, Trump has said so much screwed up stuff over the years. Like, you need that? You don't have to. You don't have to. The guy blurts things out, and sometimes it offends lots of people. So why don't you go with that stuff? And not over that. But that's what it reminds me of here. It's like you can listen to what he's saying, and he's obviously not saying what you're saying. You point it out. You say, guys, extend the clip a little bit. Listen to what he's saying. He's quoting this guy, and here's the point he's making. And people just don't care. He's evil, so it's okay. It's just okay to lie. And I'm just like, guys, there's all sorts of stuff you can criticize the guy over. Why you standing your ground on the thing that's like a lie? That's always weird to me, but something weird going on with that. Should have a video up on that tomorrow, guys. God bless AP. God bless Daoud and Aussie AP. Hello, AP, Mike Winger, and AP 2.0. God bless you.
Thank you.
2.0.
Jocko, Yahoo Serious, Outback Jack, Crocodile Dundee. Yahoo Serious, man. He played Einstein. Forgot about him. Let's see. Are you on team Chris Hemsworth or Hugh Jackman?
Oof.
Oh, they're Aussies too, huh? Yeah, we forget about those because they do different accents when they're in the movie, so we don't even.
I'd say Hugh Jackman. Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Could I get a shout out for my channel intro video tomorrow? Road to Damascus. No, but remind me to check out your intro video.
Hey, did you see people are saying that Chuck Norris died, which is kind of stupid because how can Chuck Norris die?
Yeah.
Why'd you have to drag down the whole stream, man?
It's
a dark day.
I just...
Then there was it was weird. There was a random myth right after that they said Mean Joe Green died. Now that's before your time, but if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, he's one of the greatest defensive linemen of all time. And I was like, what? Chuck Norris and Mean Joe Green on the same day? What the heck? And it turns out it was just a lie. And like his family's like, no, he's still alive and well. So anyway, Mad Max, Road Warrior are Australian movies. I have to say, Fury Road is my favorite movie of all time. Need prayer right now. And that dude, he used to, the guy who made that, when he started making the Mad Max movies, he was a doctor. He was a doctor in an emergency room. And all these people be brought in from all these car accidents and stuff all mangled. He would just start thinking in his head about like, imagine, burning down the road and crashing and all this stuff. And then he made Mad Max. Need prayer right now. Doubting my faith heavily. Well, that's weird. Let us know what's up, or if you want to talk about it sometime. David Wood. So anyway, I started blasting. That's how it goes. By the way, thanks for the channel memberships, Jack. Fan character. Oh, that's super sticker from Ida. Hey, Ida. Both Australia and Canada have a big population of non-Christian secular liberals who believe it's their mission to defend non-Caucasians, ergo Islam. Sounds about right.
Yep.
Hey, that's why you, Aussie Abe, you don't look like the normal white nationalist who's coming at Islam because he doesn't like dark people. You'll have an advantage there.
Yeah, I still get called a white supremacist though, but yeah.
Look at this. David makes a live stream with one Lebanese guy, and he spends the entire time pointing out, "You're not white. You're not white.
How dare you come on it? How dare you deceive me to get on this show and say that you're Aussie? You say you're Aussie, and I let you on, and then I find out the truth.
You're not even white, by the way. You're not white.
No, but AP, it's fine because when he says Aussie, I think, okay, criminal and probably lying about something, but I'm not sure what yet. So I was expecting some twist.
Yeah.
So
it was funny. Do you guys know? Do you guys? So I was gonna ask. Do you guys know about the Cronulla riots back in the day?
The what?
Cronulla riot. It was like this huge riot between the Lebanese community and the Australian community. It's like 2007, 2008. Anyways, they used to. It made international news, but yeah. The Lebos would chant back to the Aussies, "We came in planes, you came in chains."
That's pretty funny. It's also funny that you called them Lebos because That sounds
That's
like
what we
something
say. Yeah,
else.
they're both.
That sounds like something else that we might say about
Oh,
certain women. I'm rural
levels.
Aussie, Victoria. Muslims not liked here. That's rude. Super sticker there. Thoughts on Paul Miller's big win in boxing on 2 weeks' notice with no training? Not familiar with him, so no opinion. This super chat is to serve one purpose and one purpose only: to get David to take longer to get to the clips. I hope it works. Oh, it's working.
It's
Reading
working.
about, yeah, I'm going to burn through these guys because we want to jump into this video. Reading about the faith without works. I don't understand Michael Knowles' position about the Candace Erica situation. That silence is the best. Yeah, I haven't been following exactly what he said, but we'll be talking about Candace here in the near future. How do I remind you? Just like you did here, but do it after you've posted your video.
This is how you remind me.
You can also send me an email. I showed my friend the context of good people on both sides, and he said that he's still sure that it was still a dog whistle to condemn racists. No, to support racists. David, have you heard of Elijah Johnson apologetics? I may have. I'm just terrible with names. I would be more likely to remember like a social security number or something like that than someone's name, unless I've heard it a ton of times. Momo's here. Russell sheep sell meat to Ummah. Bad. No, it's good. I love playing this game, sending David a super sticker and watching if he's going to read it as a super chat or not. Hey, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I fall for it probably like 60% of the time. All right, you guys ready to jump into this video?
This is how you remind me.
All right, guys.
Oh yeah, it's
Before we do, hey AP, have you tried a camel burger before?
a what burger?
Camel burger, man. It's your favorite food in Turkey.
No, I haven't. But I was going to ask you how kangaroo tastes.
Not too bad. It's very yeah, it's like red meat. But yeah, the Ramadan night market's famous for their camel burgers, apparently.
No.
Special
Wait,
marinade.
Where?
Where we were, Lakemba.
Camel burgers. I would totally
Do they
try a
also
camel burger.
do they also offer like the urine as drinks?
Yes.
They call it Camelade.
That's the
Camelade. Nothing like a tall. How have I not made a meme out of this? Nothing like a tall glass of Camelade. When life throws camels at you, make a tall glass of Camelade. Oh, I would totally try a camel burger. Yeah, interesting, good stuff. I was about to say something. What was it?
Probably nothing interesting.
Camels. Oh no, I was gonna say I actually get cool stuff when I like this is from Eric, your brother in Christ, and he asked me a couple years ago. He said, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas?" And he's got goats. He's got goats, and I was like, "Send me a goat." And I didn't think he would do it, but if he did do it, I was gonna eat the thing. But then he sent me this. And that started the whole screaming goats thing. But you brought up the camel, and it reminded me. For years, I was making fun of Nabil for, riding camels, and I'd say he's driving his Cadillac and all that stuff. And he went to visit Pakistan, went to visit family in Pakistan, and I was like, he's like, "Hey, you want me to bring you something?" And I said, "Yeah, give me a camel." And I was just joking, but yeah, so he brought me this back. So I still got this thing. It's like I don't know, pretty cool. What's crazy is the legs aren't even, so it's like lopsided. I was like, it's kind of shoddy. It's kind of shoddy craftsmanship. I mean, like really well, cool, decorated. It's metal and stuff. Just it's not. The feet aren't level, man. I have to put a couple coins under certain legs. Anyway, all right.
What if when you said bring me a camel, they actually took it literally and were like, "What? How am I supposed to bring a camel?" And then found that and I was like, "Okay, this might just do it."
Yep. So anyway, I got that. So I'm super cool. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this video. Again, links in the description box. Here we go.
You gotta die. You gotta die.
If it hurts someone's feelings, last time I checked, it's not against the law. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Every time I'm trying to press you for an answer
Gaslighting
for this,
center,
you're
bro.
not answering.
Bro. Hey, I'm being hard on you because you're a Christian. Like, come on, man.
You are.
Standing here right next to you. I said it.
Yeah,
I said it.
Gee, man.
I know, yeah. I don't want to be kissed.
But you hate.
I don't want to be kissed. I
full of
don't want to be kissed.
Jesus was a Muslim.
Yes.
Moses was a Muslim. Abram was a Muslim.
Yes. You're being very disrespectful.
You guys here? What? According to you, but not according to us.
Okay. Muslim. I read the gospel and I became Muslim.
Yeah,
I'm being that serious.
Wait, so some of these are Christians saying you're being disrespectful?
They were Christians. We'll get to a bit of a longer portion of that, but they kicked us off the church property.
Now, what were you doing that was disrespectful? Were you screaming Muhammad's a pedophile or like what?
No. So there's a whole backstory to this. I put up a post saying we're going to go up and minister in Lakemba, and it got the attention of the Lakemba Police Department. They came over to my house. They tried to stop us from going. We're like, look, this is still a free country. We're going to, preach the gospel. This is our rights as Australians. Anyways, the council, when we got there, they said, look, we just want to meet up with you and make sure we go over the rules for the event. We got there and they said, look, the church is private property. That's fine. But you can't have signs or distribute any materials within the event precinct. So I'm like, okay, cool. We'll just stay by where the church is because that's private property. They contacted the caretaker of the church. They got him to come down and kick us out of the private property of the church because they knew legally they couldn't because we had the signs there. Now, I did have a speaker that I used for about 10 minutes, open air preaching. All I did was just share the gospel. I didn't mention Muhammad as a pedophile or warmonger, even though he is. But that was enough to get them to come over and say, no, get out of here. You guys are done. So after that incident, we just got rid of the speakers and the signs, and we just went in and just had conversations with the people in the event.
Nice.
I doubt it.
So
We believe there was a crucifixion, but it was not Jesus, it was his disciple.
What? Sorry. What's going on, Kyle?
There's an issue down there. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Here at Ramadan
Night
markets.
markets in Lakemba. The police, they didn't want us here. The Lakemba community.
So just to be clear, again, you're basically, for people who are over here, this is Australia's version of Dearborn, Michigan.
yeah, correct.
Didn't want us here.
Nope.
The Islamic communities didn't want us here. But do you know who wants us here? Jesus Christ, our Lord, our Savior, the Almighty God. He calls us to preach the gospel, and that's what we are doing tonight.
Amen.
This is the name above all names.
So this is the moment.
He said, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through Jesus Christ, the Messiah. People of Lakemba, you have an opportunity tonight to turn away from all the false ideologies, to turn away from all the falsehoods that you have been taught, and to come to know the one true living God, Yahweh Almighty.
Just because you say it's not
listen,
right.
I don't want to argue with you.
I'm not trying to argue. I'm just
So-
saying, like, it might be.
What's that?
This guy here in the blue, he is the event coordinator for a council. So everything here is council run. So this is all taxpayer money. So this man here, he is the one that was attempting to kick us off the church property. He couldn't legally, so he went and got the caretaker of the church to come down.
And yeah, I'm not sure what the law is down there, but for Americans, it's like confusing to say you can't be doing this on public property. It's like that public sidewalks, public parks, and so on. Those are like those are like where you have the highest benefit of the doubt on anything free speech related. And and it was interesting because when I was sitting here thinking like, what would be? I mean, look, there's so much space on there. It's not like you're not blocking traffic or something like that. So, what would be that's where police might get involved in the United States. Like if you're on the sidewalk, but such a big crowd forms and it starts spilling over into the streets and stuff like that, then they would come over and insist on moving things around or breaking up into something smaller or something like that. But then I was thinking, I was like, no, the exception is Dearborn. Dearborn would make rules like you can't hand anything out on the sidewalks and stuff like that during this time.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you even talking about? the United States of America, right? So anyway, but they find ways to do it. So
Not
Yeah, they created some bylaws for specific private events within Lakemba. So I asked them.
that's
"Look,
what they did. That's what they did in Dearborn.
Yeah, and I asked them, "Can you show us the law? Like, just show me, so that I can see and inform myself. Like, what is the actual law?" They wouldn't show us the thing.
right, but is it breaking a law? Is it breaking a bylaw or something like that? Do you know what I mean? Because if it's not, let's keep going.
Yeah, we don't want any complaints, so...
Can we keep going until we get one?
Yeah,
There might be no complaints.
Sorry?
There might be no complaints.
no one was complaining.
Nah.
Yeah. I think you'd be a distraction.
Until we get a complaint.
No, we can.
It would be very disrespectful if someone comes from another religion to your
No, I'd have no problem.
That's the reason.
They're filming it like it's...
That's what Anthony always says, and that would be my view. Because they'll go out and stand in front of a mosque and stuff or some Muslim event, and as Muslims are coming out, then they'll talk to them and stuff like that, and they always go, "How would you like it?" They were even saying that in Times Square. They were saying that in Times Square when Muslims they take over an area of Times Square, and then when someone comes along and starts talking to them or something like that, they go, "How would you like it if we came to your church?" And, first of all, that's a different situation. Going to someone's church would be different from like being in the middle of Times Square. But apart from that, Anthony's like, "I'd love it if you guys came to my church.
Yeah.
I'd love it if you guys. I'd love it to walk out of church and you guys are standing there. I would love that."
But also, this was not a mosque. Like we weren't going into a mosque here.
Mhm.
This is a public event.
Yeah, that's a public
right?
street right there.
We're getting quoted
That's
now.
just for our legal protection.
Yeah,
in case
it's
anything
just
was to
safety and
happen.
everything. Yeah. No, but where does it say that though?
See? So,
Yeah, does it apply to us?
Yeah, to everyone that
But this is
enters
private
the
property.
site. But whoever's entering the site.
But this is private property.
You're being very disrespectful.
You guys here?
What? According to you, but not according to us.
Okay. I think you're being very disrespectful.
What's your name? Speak out.
Yeah, so what's the if we can't do it? What happens? What happens
So
after that?
basically, you're saying, are we in risk of arrest?
Yeah, like what happens if we can't do it and we do it?
You
what
get
happens?
a phone.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay,
That's what I'm saying.
That's fine.
Bro, are you in a bad mood?
No,
You get a phone?
You're saying all these things. You don't even show us anything.
Oh, I know, but
God bless you.
Thank you,
guys.
mate. I know you don't like me at the moment. I can tell. But
it's not-
God bless you.
I just think you're being very disrespectful.
You can think that.
You can think
Yeah.
that, but look, like
Sorry,
we said,
mate.
our
Let's just say that the fella behind me in the blue shirt from the council is a Christian, but is very upset at us and says that we're being disrespectful by doing this, by preaching on a mic. We'll have a look at the law and see what it is because, hey, we report to God, we don't report to people here. So, but we don't want to be breaking any laws, but we're going to have a look it up and see how we go.
What did you say? Give up while you're here. Give it up.
Okay.
We're here to preach
Jesus.
Give it up because Jesus loves you.
Where do we go after we die, brother?
Can you die?
Of course.
Okay, be stupid then.
Why is this stupid?
Give it all away. We're just gonna die. That sounds stupid.
What sounds stupid? Then we're going to die.
Yeah, we're all dead. We've got to be loved. We've got to be brothers.
Of course.
and that,
What's unloving? Do you think we're being unloving?
This is just the local drunk. We can probably skip over this.
What's that?
This guy's he's just a local drunk, so we can probably skip over that part.
Oh yes, he's one of the guy. Hey, you're hurting people's feelings when you say this stuff. So why would you do that? That's
Yeah.
Oh, he's drunk. I see. Makes sense.
Okay.
It's kind of strange to me that they give you phones if you cause trouble.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be kissed. I don't want to be kissed. God love you, brother.
Thank you. I did what?
That's love. Look right here. It's a good style.
If you don't mind, I don't want to offend you, but I do want to push something that you were saying earlier. You were saying that there are certain things in the Torah that we have today and the Injil that we have today. We can go back to it and parts of it are accurate, but other parts are changed.
Not accurate. We say that we believe in its meaning because we are told to not believe in totality nor to deny in totality.
So for example,
Yes.
I have the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, all the way through to Revelation.
Yeah.
I have that, and I bring it over to you, and I ask you, what was your name? Amir?
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Sorry. I ask you, Amen. Can you show me in the New Testament, the Injil that I have today? I am Ahl Injil, like I'm the people of the Injil. Can you show me here and decipher for me what is of God revealed and what is not of God?
Yet again, we do not say that this is of God in totality, okay, but nor do we deny it. But whatever refers to monotheism, okay, we will agree with its meaning.
Yeah, so I'm understanding,
Yeah.
but so for example, Muhammad said in Surah 5:68, he said, "You people of the book, you have nothing to stand upon unless you stand upon the Torah and the Injil." So like he's telling the people of the day, unless you're going back to the gospel, unless you're going back to the Torah, you've got nothing to stand on. And basically you're mushrikeen, you're disbelievers.
Okay, yes, that's true, but we have to see other ayat, other verses, which proves like the next thing, which the last revelation that came to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Today I've completed your religion and perfected it for you. So
Good
That's
stuff.
funny.
Good stuff. Because you guys, he used one of the best verses there. He went to Surah 5, verse 68. That's Muhammad being commanded to say to the people of the book, Jews and Christians, you have no ground to stand upon unless you stand fast by the Torah, the gospel, and all the revelation has come to you from your Lord. Very strange thing to say if he's actually saying your books have been corrupted, you can't trust them anymore, you need to go with the Quran. It's a very
He
strange way
gets
of
into
saying
that. Yeah.
very, very strange way of saying it. And so when he says, but you have to look at other he even says, true, but there's these other verses. And I was like, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? Where do you have anything in the Quran that is nearly as clear as what 568 or 566 or 543 or 547? What do you have that's anywhere near as clear as these verses that's going to say corrupted or something like that? And he just goes, oh, nope. He says he perfected your religion. Yeah, and the perfected religion tells us to judge by our books. That's what it tells us. So the perfected the perfected revelation, the Quran, it tells us to go with our books. And they tell us no. So how perfect can it be? That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You know, you could be a little bit charitable and say that, you know, they could assert that yes, Allah did say in the Quran that the Jews and Christians have nothing to stand upon unless they stand upon the scripture, the Torah, and the gospel. And you could believe that, you know, you could argue as a Muslim, yes, we do acknowledge that, but it was only temporary, only during that time until the completion of the revelation of the Quran. Because after that, after the Quran is completed and after Islam is completed according to Islam, then Jews and Christians no longer need to or should no longer stand upon the gospel and the Torah. They should now stand upon the Quran. You could say, however, if you want to argue that, then where can you bring me from the texts any clear indication, any clear instance of it saying that from now on, these other texts are no longer in any way valid, that they have been corrupted, that they are changed, that from now on they can no longer continue and they must now all become Muslims because this is the only true book. So it doesn't get rid of the whole idea that those revelations, those, you know, scriptures were still revealed by Allah, and He continuously refers to them as the truth to be stood upon. It never ever mentions that they were corrupted or changed or anything like that. So any suggestion then thereafter by Muslims that these scriptures are corrupted or partially corrupted or anything like that is completely unfounded, even by the standards of the Quran.
Yeah, and we didn't put the whole conversation on, but we cut it off at certain points and we went to different topics. But I pushed him on that, and it was just non-answers. There were just deflecting. He knew that there was nothing he could say, and so it was like, all right, let's just move on to something else because I'm getting nowhere here. Mm-hmm. It was just really, it was quite frustrating, to be honest.
All right, let's see where this goes.
So there is nothing that is after it. There is nothing more complete. Yeah, and also when God says in the Quran, that the religion with God is Islam. Now, and that's the same religion that Jesus had. That's the same religion that Moses had. That's the same religion that Abraham had.
Notice they just go right back to the script. Always they go right back to the script. And
it's kind of like there's like critical thinking skills beyond the script. It just there's nothing there.
Yeah,
nothing there. You can't think outside.
Yeah, I mean it's sad. It's Islam does this. It's just memorize this script and keep saying it over and over again. And what if someone comes along, they refute it? Well, just go on and go back to the script. Just keep reciting the script until they say, okay, this is a waste of time.
Which is Islam, and Islam means to submit to God alone.
Right. So, Jesus was a Muslim.
Yes.
Moses was a Muslim.
Yes.
Abraham was a Muslim.
Yes.
Now, if they are all Muslims, that means that what God revealed to them was the Islamic religion.
That's right.
But there's certain things in Islam that, for example, contradict what Jesus did as we see in the Torah.
Okay.
So
yet again we say the Torah that's today and the gospel that's today is not the same that was revealed, okay, to Jesus himself or to the other prophets.
So where would the Torah and the Injil be today then? Where is that?
Well, because they have corrupted it and there was no one that preserved it, okay, we don't know what is available today of the original.
I say I'm a monotheist. I believe in one God.
Yes.
What are you babbling about, AP?
And when was it corrupted?
Yeah.
And here are many things. So what he's saying here is actually, what he's saying here is quite simple. The Quran clearly affirms that the Torah and the Injil, meaning the Torah and the Gospels, or the Old Testament and the New Testament, or just the 5 books of Moses and the Gospel accounts, or a certain book called the Gospel, which apparently was at some point revealed to Jesus, but is no longer available, and no Muslim can ever point at where it actually is. But they also claim to have read the Injil and all that. Anyway, because the Quran says that those are true revelations and the word of Allah, which He brought down and gave and preserved, and nobody can preserve His word. They somehow have to agree that these books did indeed contain the word of Allah, and that they are to an extent true, which is why they cannot fully say that these scriptures are invalid and absolutely false. The Quran only affirms their authenticity and their correctness and their proper revelation, and never says that they were corrupted. But Muslims have to argue that they were corrupted because when you read the contents of these scriptures, you see that they're completely in contradiction with the Quran. So they will try and explain that by saying that these scriptures were corrupted at some point by the Jews and the Christians. When you ask them when exactly these scriptures were corrupted, they will not be able to give you an answer, because no answer would actually make any sense. It is a nonsensical argument. It is a nonsensical claim and nonsensical suggestion, and any attempt to put a proper time frame to it would be a completely embarrassing failure, and would also be in contradiction with the Quran's own words. So they can't answer what the Injil and what the Torah actually are. They can especially not answer what the Injil or what the Gospel actually is. They cannot answer when it was corrupted. They cannot answer how it was corrupted or who properly corrupted it. They cannot answer when the scripture first existed and then somehow became lost, which is why any attempt to get a proper answer out of this will result in these deflections and non-answers, as you can see. And another issue to make is what he's saying there when he says we can neither, it's basically like a legal statement. We can neither confirm nor deny that this certain thing in the text is accurate and Allah's word. What they are trying to do here, when he says anything there that agrees with monotheism, we agree with and all that. What he's trying to do is he says, the Quran says that the Gospels and the Torah, or the Gospel and the Torah, have been revealed by Allah. So therefore, we agree that it was revealed by Allah, but it was at some point corrupted. We have to argue that, which the Quran itself doesn't say, which Muslims argue. So we have to argue that it was at some point corrupted, but we cannot tell you exactly which part of it is corrupted and which part is authentic. And if you ask us which part to trust and which part not to trust, we will tell you to trust exactly those that agree with Islam. That's what he's trying to say.
And it's all circular. It's all circular.
Yeah, it's very circular. Mm-hmm. So is this what they would say when they refer to conscious editing, right? They kept referring to the Quran consciously editing the Bible,
That's they get it.
which makes zero sense.
Yeah, someone eventually comes up with a stupid response, and I heard they got that one from Chat GPT. They were asking Chat GPT to come up with a response, and so and then they ran with that one. But yeah, just nothing actually fits what the Quran says. Nothing that they say in response actually fits what the Quran says. And what I want everyone there all of you who are watching, I want you to notice something here. Because I see lots of people, they'll learn some points, or they'll learn an argument like the Islamic dilemma or something like that. But they're worried that if they're talking to a Muslim, the Muslim's going to have all these awesome responses and so on. There's a dawah guy here. There's a guy on the street giving dawah. Does he have some great response to the Islamic dilemma?
There are no responses to the Islamic dilemma. Learn
that
it,
should be
and
encouraging to all of you. In other words, guess what, everyone? You can learn a couple of verses. You can have a couple of verses and go up and talk to these guys. And it's going to be a problem for them.
I'll say this. I am by no means an expert in Islam at all. My knowledge is very basic, and yet there was nothing that they could say to refute. I just knew. I memorized a few verses, and that was it.
We can see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That one God, in essence, is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
That's destroying monotheism, because monotheism is submitting alone to God. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
so
not
what we say,
God
is one,
Yep.
with three persons, but he's not sharing in the essence separate to
That's
divine
like saying
essences.
1 + 1 = 3. It doesn't make sense.
But that's
1 + 1 + 1 = 3.
But he said that's like saying 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. But 1 + 1 + 1.
what we say. God is one,
Yep.
with three persons, but he's not sharing in the essence separate to
That's
divine
like saying
essences.
1 + 1 = 3. It doesn't make sense.
But that's not.
Oh, he said that's like saying 1 + 1 = 3. So that's a new. He didn't even get the objection right.
We're saying so.
Yeah.
The script failed there.
Yeah.
There's a difference between essence and person. So we're not saying, like, for example, Allah has how many names in the Quran?
99 names.
99 names.
Yeah.
Those names are attributes.
Yes.
So the Quran would say that God is made up of these 99 names.
Yes, but they're all within his essence.
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Did you just say that? They're all within his essence.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Right? So guys, on the level of essence, Allah is one. On the level of attribute, he's more than one. So Allah is one in one way, more than one in another way. And no Muslim is going to say, well, Allah has 99 attributes, and therefore there must be 99 gods. No one's going to say that. No one's going to say that. And his attributes are actually in conflict. His mercy triumphs over his wrath. So mercy wants one thing, wrath wants another, and his mercy triumphs over his wrath. And so wrath and mercy are not the same thing. These are different things. They're different attributes. And yet they have no problem saying one in essence, more than one in attribute. Well, Christians are just saying one in essence, more than one in person.
So we're saying these persons are all within the essence of God.
But that's describing someone to God. You see,
but what I'm saying is like
the attributes. That's him from his essence. Now
But that's what we're saying. The persons are in the essence.
You're mentioning something that is not attached to God.
No, we say it is. So we say, for example, in the essence of God, you have.
Oh yeah, I had to correct myself. Someone said Jake did. So yeah, Jake said there are 99 different ontologies. So there's that.
In this, you have distinct persons that are inseparable to the nature.
Why would a specific person be a part of an attribute of God?
If I ask
I didn't understand what he said.
Muhammad came 600 years after Jesus.
Yeah. Did you say that the persons are part of one attribute?
No.
It sounds like that's what he's responding to. Sounds like AP. You remember? You remember that episode of Always Sunny when they go to the psychiatrist?
Yeah.
And she's saying, it's good that you're comfortable in your own skin. He says, yeah, because I have a lot of skin. And so that's why I'm comfortable. And she she eventually says, I feel like you're mirroring my words back to me, but you're not understanding them. That's what that just reminded me of. Like
Yeah.
he heard attributes and he heard person. So he's saying the words back. He's just not understanding what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly how I felt.
And he brought a message that, while in some aspects it's similar, but in other aspects it differentiates from what was revealed to the earliest Christians. Which of them can I believe? Which of them should I believe?
Well, even in the Bible itself said that there's another prophet coming. Okay?
Where does it say that?
If I give you
See what I told? See what I meant? This is like 15 years ago.
You mean the same section that actually literally it doesn't say another prophet, it says another comforter, another helper, and it literally calls him the Holy Spirit. That's what he's referring to, right?
Well, because Muhammad was holy.
Yeah, this is weird. So apparently when Australia was populated entirely by criminals, they were just abandoned for 15 years. And so when they started finally getting contact with other places again, they've just always been 15 years behind on everything. So Dawa's 15 years behind.
Yep.
They're 15 years behind in understanding how to deal with Islam and so on. So, okay.
Yep.
Now, the positive thing is it kind of sounds like maybe 15 years from now, you guys will be all right. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Can you? Yeah, sure. Actually, I would like to see.
He's pulling out the track.
you can take that home with you.
Can you just
read it.
ask, like, because that's a whole book.
Yeah.
But can you show me in the Bible where it says he is mentioned?
if
Because
you-
I know the Prophet Muhammad. He said that Jesus spoke of him and said Jesus, son of Mary. He said, one will come after me. His name is Ahmed.
That's right.
Right. So what we as Christians want to do is we say, okay, well, Muhammad claimed that Jesus said he was coming in the future, prophesying. This was a revelation from Allah. So what the Christians need to do then is go to the Gospels and see, where does Jesus say that?
That's right. So that our verse establishes that in the Quran, and also.
But where in the Bible did Jesus say that?
Well, I'm not a person of the Bible, my friend. You see.
Yeah, but
you are. That's why there's a book here that you can read and you can see for yourself.
No,
Yes.
so-
And anyway, I don't need the Bible because my Quran has revealed that. For
No,
me.
I know you don't need
Yeah.
the Bible.
Yeah.
You're saying you don't need it, but Muhammad said to the people of the book, you need the Bible and you need the Torah.
Yeah,
you
that
need
was
the
to
Injil.
judge amongst them. Okay, because
No, but it was also to judge whether he was a true prophet or not. Because he said,
because within the Bible, it will establish these things about the prophet.
Yeah, but when we look in our Bible, it doesn't.
That's because the Bible has been changed. Man,
You guys catch that? So Muhammad says, hey, you want to know I'm a prophet? Go to your book. And you just said, well, we go to our book and it doesn't say anything about Muhammad. You could have put, well,
But then where does it go?
you don't want to be mean, but you could have accept that he's a false prophet.
Yeah.
But we don't find these prophecies saying that there's this prophet who's going to come, who's Muhammad and stuff. And he goes, it's because your Bible's been changed. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so Allah's argument is go to your book where you'll find Muhammad, but you're not going to find Muhammad
it's
there
corrupt now.
because it's been changed. Now believe in Muhammad. Okay, that would be the stupidest argument ever offered by anyone for any position. And that's what Allah came up with?
Mm-hmm.
many times before it's reached you.
When was it changed? When?
Many times.
When?
Your scholars have admitted it themselves.
Where?
And by the way, guys, think of Dawah script. He just admitted he has no clue what he's talking about when it comes to the Bible, right?
No.
Right? He has
Zero.
no clue
He
what
said,
he's
I'm not a
talking about.
person of the book.
He didn't even know to say like, oh, John 14, that's where Muhammad's mentioned, or Song of Solomon 5:16, or Deuteronomy 18. He didn't know any of that. He knew none of that. So he knows nothing about the Bible, but he's it's been changed. He knows it's been changed.
Yeah.
And Abe says, okay, when? Well, I don't know the Bible, but it's been like it never crosses their minds that I have no clue what I'm talking about, therefore I should not be talking about it. Right? Never enters their mind.
There was another Dawa guy as well that we spoke to. Same same institution that this one was with, but we were going through it as well. He's like, look, I'm not knowledgeable, my friend. Please just go talk to someone who is knowledgeable. I'm like, you are a Dawa guy. You are here teaching people about Islam. So if not you, who can I go to and talk to and ask these questions to, and they actually will know? Like, who can I go to in Australia, in Lakemba, and say, please show me where Jesus is in the Bible? There's no one.
So I actually, the thing is, there's textual criticism, right?
Okay.
What we had in we had in the 6th century,
Yeah.
in the 7th century, Arabia, where Muhammad was, the Syriac Peshitta, we still have that today. We still have what we had in the 5th century. We still have what we had in the 4th century, in the 3rd century. It's been unchanged
If we
from
pick up
them.
every Bible, it says don't believe in this Bible because this one is the truth. And you go to
Where does it say?
go and look in the start of King.
So now that's another common feature of Dawa. As we've seen, this guy has no clue what he's talking about, but it doesn't stop them from just making stuff up that they've always heard from other Dawa guys who have no clue what they're talking about. And it's just wild, man.
So if there was an average Christian and he said this to them, they'd be like, oh, I guess maybe the King James does say that. I need to go. But the thing that Christians need to understand is whenever they say these things, ask them to substantiate the claim. Like, all right, you're making a claim, please show me.
Mhm.
Like, I need you to show me right now, right here, so we can move on in the conversation. But there was nothing there where there was no substance to the evidence.
Mhm.
None of the claims.
Yeah, guys, so you just heard A point out something very important, like what he's doing there. Like, when was it corrupted? Those kinds of things. Show me that. Oh, Muhammad's in the Bible. Okay, show me that. Like, he's asking basic questions based on what this guy's saying. If you're saying, hey, this book has been corrupted, I know it. Okay, well, you can tell me when then, right? I mean, you know it. You understand what you're talking about, right? You just told me Muhammad's in the Bible, right? Okay, where? Well, I have no clue. I have no idea. What the heck are you talking for then?
Mm-hmm.
James, go
Yep.
look at the.
I was thinking in my head, why are you here?
Very good habit to be in. And as far as all the stuff on social media, which I was mentioning earlier, where anyone could just make up anything at any point and everyone just starts running with it. Very good habit. Show me that. Very simple question. Show me that. Give me the evidence for that. And you can see these guys have nothing.
No, I don't even need King James because I read Koine Greek, right? So I can go to the Textus Receptus, the Vaticanus, I can go to Sinaiticus. I can read these and I can say, I don't even need King James. I don't need an English translation. I'll just read those.
All those people
and then I can read those and see, all right, where is Jesus saying Muhammad is coming?
Okay, so if we look at people like John, Paul, and all these things,
Dawa script.
we don't know any history of them.
We do, because when you read the Gospels, you see the history of who Matthew was, who John was.
Do you know when he lived, when he died?
Yes, 1st century.
Do you know?
So he was in the 1st century in Antioch, in Ephesus.
I mean, just think about that. But, like, he said John and Paul. We don't know anything about Paul? What? We've got a bunch of his letters. We've got him in the book of Acts from before he was a Christian up through persecutions and everything else, trial.
He was on the island of Patmos. That was John the Apostle.
Anyway, again, guys, he says things. It's completely wrong, but it doesn't stop him from saying things. That's like Dawa. Just keep saying stuff. Just keep saying stuff, because you're going to run into lots of people who don't know anything, and they won't know that you're spouting complete nonsense, and you'll be able to dupe them into thinking you do know what you're talking about. Become a da'i. It's a great life.
I mean, I don't want people to
see
miss the fact that he just blatantly just completely made something up there and just lied, you know. And then, and when you open the Bible, when you open this Bible and that Bible, you see that it says that this is correct and the other Bibles are not, and all that.
Yeah, I open this Bible. I open this Bible. It says, "Don't believe that other Bible." And I go to this other Bible, and it says, "No, don't believe that Bible." And I go, "Oh no, the Bibles are all telling me not to believe in the other Bibles." It's like complete nonsense.
This is supposed to be an Islamic teacher here, right? This is one who teaches Islam, and you can see here. This is a clear example of how these people just randomly make things up. They simply lie. They just invent a truth in order to spread Islam or to argue against another religion. This is just part of their morality. Nothing really forbids them from simply making up lies like this.
Especially that Book of Nicaea tells you, don't read any other.
Yeah, very, very powerful. No, guys, that's what's.
And you can't.
Oh, just one.
So I was going to say, you can't see it in the video, but he is sweating profusely right now.
Oh yeah. No, but that's what's bothering me most about what's going on social media, where I'll see someone make something up and then they'll get 50,000 likes on it and it's completely made up. And then it'll get exposed 3 days later for being made up. And then they'll make something else up and it'll get 50,000 likes. And I'm like, you guys just don't care. You don't care even slightly. Mm-hmm. But it's that when that's going on, I'm thinking this is just like Dawa. Like everyone's becoming like Dawa. Just figure out what you want to be true and just make up anything you need to say to get to dupe people. And it's, I don't know, it's becoming normal. It's very, very creepy.
We believe there was a crucifixion, but it was not Jesus, it was his disciple.
What? Sorry. What's going on, Kyle?
There's an issue down there. Sorry.
By the way, they can't even defend that it was a disciple because Muhammad doesn't say that. And the Quran doesn't say that. Yeah. And so all they can do is go to their commentaries, but their commentaries are all over the place. You'll have some that was saying it was a disciple. You'll have some saying it was one of the Jews who came to get him. You'll have some that say it was a Roman soldier. They don't know. They don't know why, because this was later people just making up stories to explain what the Quran is saying. So what's this guy saying?
You said we have to leave. You said you need to leave.
But you've got no permission.
The conversation was shut
out, right?
Sure.
Like, call it what it is, Paul.
So if you go on somebody's private property and you're a Christian and they told you to leave it, this is the church's property.
It's church, brother.
I'm doing that. This is United Lakemba Church property from here to there.
Sure.
If you read that here,
all right, let me
donated this to the church in the 1800s.
I'm telling you, if someone was preaching the gospel, which we are called to do as Christians,
yes,
correct me?
We'll go out there and do it.
That's what we've been
not
doing.
Here, because you've got to have permission.
We thought the church was a safe space, mate. Hey.
Now, what are you guys doing here? This is a church. You're out here preaching the gospel to the lost. How dare you? We don't do that in church.
Which church is this?
Not in Lakemba. Lakemba Uniting Church. They are very upset by the video that we put up, by the way. And there might be a defamation suit.
They should be upset with themselves, not that, I mean, just think, guys. Think about the takeaway, because everyone in any Western nation needs to learn what happens here, right? It's in order. So if you're in a community with a bunch of Muslims, in order to get along with the Muslims, you have to compromise your Christianity and water it down and not evangelize or do anything else. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, what were you guys saying about Islam's not gonna mess things up? I mean, it's.
Yeah, they took the fact that we filmed it and filmed this interaction, they took it as though we were trashing another church, but that's not what we were doing. What we're doing is showing like how they're treating Christians who are preaching the gospel.
What a disgusting, what a shameful, dishonorable behavior, man. I mean, I can just, I feel like saying I don't care. I mean, is this really a church? Is this really? I mean, a church is supposed to be concerned with, with Christianity, with Christians, with the church, right? In the greater sense, with the status of the church, with all that, and the church is the one here that is bending over basically and preventing you from doing things, from preaching the gospel. Is that my understanding here? Correct me before I continue.
I have no other, other words.
That's what it looks like. Like I'm sitting there, I'm trying to think like if they said, hey, we're in this community. So, and if you were yelling, hey, Muhammad's a pedophile or something like that, if you were yelling that stuff,
of course. Absolutely.
If they said like, we don't want to be associated with that because that's not how we do it. That would be one thing. I could, okay. They don't want to be associated with that. But if it's, you guys are preaching the gospel, how dare you? This is church property. You can't preach the gospel at a church. It's like, okay, like, I don't know what you mean by church anymore or Christian anymore. I don't know what you guys mean by these terms.
Yeah,
And with
and I
churches
do.
like this, who needs the Islamization? You know, it's like the church is already doing it. So
I do understand. Look, they had that tent ministry, which was starting up later that night. That tent ministry has been going on for years, so I understood that, and we didn't want to interrupt that. So we decided we would do the public speaking, before they started opening up that, and then we would hit the streets. That was our plan, because we didn't want to disrupt their ministry. But yeah, that didn't work out either.
disgusting.
Being
By
hard
the
on you
way,
because
this
you're a
guy,
Christian.
not the guy yelling at us. There's this other guy who's much taller. His father actually, he debated Ahmed Didat in South Africa, and so very, very well versed. This guy knows the Quran inside out. Yeah, I just wonder how they would view all of this. These giants of the faith in the past.
Like, come on, man.
Here you are. You want them in church? They said they talked to Ben about it. I don't know if Ben gave
Yeah,
us
so between you and us. So when they see you, they're going to think that suddenly the peace tent is turned into a
Preaching the gospel?
well, not preaching the gospel, but
What do you mean? We were just preaching the gospel out there.
Yeah. Well, you're obviously out there and with speakers and mics
course.
and everything
Well, we
else.
turned the speakers off.
Yeah,
but
we
then
had
they
to.
didn't stop
Yeah.
there. They
Yeah,
just
so-
continued on.
The peace tent now and the whole thing's changed.
Yeah,
So-
but sorry, you're trying to infer that we're not peaceful. By us being a little bit louder or responding to another Christian kicking us out, it's not being not peaceful. Do you know what I mean? Like that's ridiculous, really, to be honest. Like,
Well, I think there are different ways that you can do it, and obviously you're taking a different way, and there are other contexts where I will take a different way as well. Well, I'll also be a little bit more.
our goal is
upfront.
always to bring people to Christ
Yeah,
and
so-
to preach the gospel.
So I don't know what Paul has said in terms of whether.
There's been a bit of confusion. We thought we were allowed to preach the gospel here. We did turn off the speakers, which was fine. Like, we agreed to do it. We didn't know any laws were breaking, but we didn't want to be agitators. But we want to be able to preach the gospel within the confinement of the laws, and not break any. Of course, you know what I mean. And so I think as of now, they got in contact with the actual landowner of this church, and the landowner said it's a no-go, so we're not allowed to be here. So essentially, it's Christians kicking Christians off the private property, which is a shame. Look, but it's just the state of the world these days.
Alright, so guys, a little bit of an issue. Not only has the council kicked us out, they've prevented us from using a speaker, having any signs, distributing any materials. Not only that, but even the church itself was not comfortable with us being there and with us using their private property. So it's caused us to go old school. No speakers, no signs, but we have the word of God. We're going to hit the streets. This is still Australia. This is not Sharia Arabia. So we are going in with the power, authority, and boldness of Jesus Christ.
Hey, you know, it'd have been funny if they were objecting. You were like, "Is it because I'm not white? Huh? I'm not white enough to preach here." Everyone, he says, "I'm not white enough to preach here at this church." That'd have been funny. Classic.
Oh man, that would have been a good gotcha moment.
amen.
It'd have been funny. They'd be like, "No, you can preach. Go ahead, preach. Here's your microphone. Go ahead, preach."
Is it because I'm an Arab?
Yeah, so like he said, we were over there before.
That would have been funny. That would have if you'd have started yelling, "Everyone, I'm being kept from speaking because I'm an Arab." That would have been like the Apostle Paul when he was brought in. And he said, "You had the scribes there. I mean, you had the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection." He says he's in trouble for believing Jesus rose from the dead. So he goes, "I'm here because I believe in the resurrection." And then all the Pharisees jump in on his side because they believe in the resurrection. Classic.
Caused dissent amongst them. But there were a lot of Shias and Sunnis there. That was one of my tactics. I was gonna, just get them to fight each other.
I think it was the caretaker of the church kicked us out. We pushed back on him and said, "Hey, as a Christian, why are you kicking out other Christians, and how do you feel about that?" But again, you'll see in the video, he deflected, and we had to go hard at him. Like, as a Christian, it's
not in the
doesn't make sense how you can do that. So
Yeah, unfortunately, the
Very
preaching of the
inappropriate.
gospel is too offensive.
Yep.
And our approach in preaching the gospel, which the approach is just to preach the gospel, that is too much of an offense for people who claim Christianity. So I don't know what's going on. There's an oppression. This is a spiritual battle, but we're not stopping. We're not causing it to hesitate. We are not going to stumble or fall or cower. We're going in.
Amen.
Let's go.
Going in.
Hey, David.
Nothing is upset. Ha! See, I
If
can
it hurts someone's feelings, last time I checked, it's not against the law. Do you know what I mean?
But
Like,
if the people, that's a bit beyond what we would do,
Yep.
and they're not comfortable with it,
Maybe,
ultimately, you know, and so then they raise those concerns with council.
well, they said if a complaint happens, then obviously then we have to follow that through. And I said, has there been a complaint happen? And they said, no, there hasn't. I said, so we should be right to keep going. And they were like, oh.
And like I said, big future, engage early on.
I think we might have burnt that bridge.
Oh darn! That's a mannequin. That's a mannequin there. I was like, that armless lady is standing really still.
Necessarily.
He said, bring the Torah. Yeah. It was then brought.
This part
and-
here,
Uh-huh.
this part was probably the most painful experience of my life. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yes, it was terrible. Keep going. I'm just gonna head to my car to charge my phone, so I'll continue.
He then withdrew the cushion from beneath him and placed the Torah on it, saying, I believe in you and the one who revealed you.
That part's weak, but yeah.
What do you mean it's weak?
That part of the hadith is weak.
Where does it say that?
From,
Where?
I'm
Where?
telling you from my corpus.
Where?
If
Where?
you want to go into every little detail, because I can go through how you use the fake verse in your, in your video or in the post you make. We can go into little details if you want to.
What verse?
The verse through from the long ending of Mark. We can go through all that. But I'm saying to you, from our corpus, that part of the hadith where he says it's questioned. Some people believe in it, some people don't. But we'll go with the fact that let's just say it's true, right? I have no issue either way. So I'm just letting you know that part of the hadith is da'if.
So one part of it is right, the other part is...
Most of it's correct, but the part where he puts it down and says, I believe in you, there's a part that also says where he kisses it and he says, I believe in you, the one who sent you. That's all da'if.
But that's not in the hadith.
What do you mean?
The part where he kisses it.
No, that's what I'm saying to you. So we have something called a matan. Do you know what matan is?
Explain it.
Okay, so a matan, so you don't know what a matan is?
It's the transmission, right?
No.
So guys, for anyone who's new here, what this guy's saying is so you have the matan, that's the content of the story. Then you have the isnad, that's the chain of transmission. I got it from so and so, got it from so and so, got it from so and so. He's saying that part of the hadith is good, but the end part there, where Muhammad says, "I believe in you and in the one who revealed you," that's weak. That's weak. So that's what he's claiming. And by the way, you can find Muslim scholars who say that. You can find Muslim scholars who say no, that hadith is good. And so it's just like this picking and choosing. But I mean, think about how insane it is to object to that part. That Muhammad would say, "I believe in the Torah and in the one who revealed the Torah." Read the Quran. It's all over the Quran.
Yep.
That's the message that, yes, Muhammad believed in the Torah that was still around in the possession of the Jews, and he believed in the God who revealed it. Yeah. No, we can't do that. Why? Because, it's weird. It's because you have Muhammad. It's because you have Muhammad saying exactly what Allah says in the Quran, and you can't have that because now you've got double confirmation. So if they could just do away with Muhammad saying it, then we could just interpret Allah however we want because Allah is just a terrible communicator.
So matan literally means text, and it is specifically used in hadith studies as part of the hadith studies in which you with which you analyze the different properties of a hadith and whether it is authentic or not, where you can analyze the matan, the text, in its contents and authenticity, and then the authenticity of its chain of narrations and all that, which is the isnad. And he's like, well, there's the matan, and do you know matan? Oh, you don't even know matan? It's largely irrelevant to the discussion here.
but and
see,
that's another thing they do. They'll do you know this term? No, I don't know. Oh, you're like, you guys know nothing about anything you talk about, right? You guys know nothing about the Bible. You talk all day about the Bible. You know nothing about anything. You keep talking about it, and then you'll say, Do you know what this term in hadith methodology is? No, I don't. Why are you talking? Yeah, you're right.
So this is one of the things, like, as Christians, if we don't know something, we're like, okay, well, tell me, explain that to me. They're just so used to they're just so used to lying off the top of their head that whenever someone says something, even if it's a lie, they have to demonstrate that, a level of confidence that they know this thing. But so because of what he was doing in this, like with his tactics, I'm like, you know what? If he doesn't know something, I'm really gonna give it back to him. So I did that when it came to the Greek names of the books of the Bible.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's by the way, I have that same approach when they'll start going, you don't know the Arabic for this. Okay, what were you saying? What were you saying about the God? Okay, what's the Greek here?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was your rule? Oh, you're an idiot if you don't know the Greek. If you don't know the That's what I'm saying.
We should start doing that, man.
No concept of consistency.
What's a matan?
So what you're saying is the isnad.
Yeah, the isnad. Yeah.
Yeah, the isnad is the line of who reported it from who, right?
Yeah.
The chain of narration, right?
Yeah.
The matan is the compilations of the sayings of the Prophet from the specific sayings.
Okay.
So, for example,
basically the idea is he had the Torah there at the time.
Was it in his possession? That was my original question.
It's in Arabia.
No.
And they brought it to him.
You said he had it in his possession.
Well, what I meant...
No, please, brother, please.
I want to interject.
Yeah, okay.
I want to interject here and just hit him with the very same approach here, with the very same logic.
Hey, AP, respond to that real quick. I got to go. My wife's not back. I'm going to check on my son, make sure everything's okay real quick, because I've been up here a little while. I'll be right back.
Okay. So he just explained what a matan is, right? And he just explained it in a completely, I would say, largely inaccurate way. It is, in the most accurate sense, as I said, it literally means text. Matan literally means text. It is still used in the same sense in Arabic in general. And when it comes to the hadith, where you make a separation in the different parts of a hadith in order to analyze its authenticity, matan is separate from isnad, because the isnad is just the chain of narrations, whereas the matan refers to the body of the text. You asked him to explain what matan is, and he what was his explanation? Like the compilation of narrations about the sayings of Muhammad. Dude, when we're talking about the hadith, the matan is literally just the text, the contents of the hadith, right? Of what the hadith actually says. That's all it is. So if I was as dirty and malicious as these guys are, I would at this point say, look at this, he can't even explain what the matan is. He doesn't even know. He can't even explain what it actually is. He explained it in the wrong way. I know better. Therefore, you're supposed to trust me, not him. You're supposed to trust me because I actually know it, not this guy. This is how it's supposed to work, right? This is their logic. So by their logic, he doesn't know what he's talking about because he just wrongly described what a matan is.
And he's supposed to be one of the more educated of the Dawa guys. He goes around all of Sydney and pretty much he's on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. So if anyone should know, he should know, right? He should know what matan is. It's not. He should be the expert. But it's very safe to say the logic and the critical thinking skills just not there, man.
It's funny with their behavior. It's like you can't. It already starts out in a very hostile way, who does this? You can have discussions with people about your religious beliefs, about your thoughts, about this, that, and you generally want to be charitable and want to expect, or you do expect that the person you're talking to, no matter how knowledgeable, no matter how advanced they are, no matter what their intentions are, they might occasionally make mistakes or misremember things, and so on and so forth. But this guy already started out the discussion with you didn't catch this one thing that I just said.
Yeah.
You don't even know. You've been humiliated. You've been destroyed. It says a lot about the way that Islam is, the way that Islam teaches you to think, and the way Muslims in general operate and think. It is very, very much, it is very distant, very far removed from a good, well-intentioned, charitable way of interacting with other fellow human beings.
Yeah. A few of the comments on the video, they're like, who even talks like this? Like, who has conversations this way? It's, but I will say this, because he's Lebanese as well, and I'm Lebanese. This is how a lot of Lebanese people have conversations. So it was fairly typical. And some of the white police officers came over and they're like, "Are you guys okay? Like, is there an issue here?" I'm like, "No, we're just having a conversation."
I want to ask you a question. Earlier you said because I'm an Arab, completely irrelevant to the question here. But I've heard.
Yeah, I know. Lebanese say we're not Arabs, we're Phoenicians.
Yeah, they flip out. They flip out.
I've heard from many Lebanese Christians who are like, "No, I'm not an Arab. I'm not an Arab."
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's one of those things, especially with Christian Lebanese. They see the Arabization of Lebanon as being like a colonizing power. So they don't like to call themselves Arabs. But I mean, look, we speak the Arabic language. We're pretty much in the Arabic culture, so whatever.
I see.
Very based. Just do like 2 or 3. AP, David was the same way. AP, David was the same way with Jai. You're not brown. Oh, you're not brown. Who will be the new... Wait a minute. Then he switched. Who will be the new face of Dawa since Junior stepped down? That is the worst thing that's happened so far in 2026.
Did he actually step down from?
He said he's not. He's not completely predictable,
and that he was advised to no longer have public discussions or debates about Islam because he even said that he has done more damage than good for Islam during his debates.
That's all about.
He's done good for Christianity.
I would agree with him, but I also think that this was a good quality for him. This is why he was a valuable person in the Dawah. But I mean, in all honesty, I made a comment in response, and I said it's kind of funny that he admits this. It's also kind of sad, but in all honesty, I actually have a little bit of respect for the fact that he actually made such a post and acknowledged that he's a fool and that he has done much damage and that he probably needs to step back and focus on things. It's actually, and I can't believe I'm saying this about Junior, it's actually kind of respectable. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, we just lost our best apologist, man. People are saying it. We just lost our best Christian apologist.
I know.
I think he brought more people into the kingdom of God than any other Christian apologist.
Yeah, and he was just getting started, man. We thought we were gonna have him all in 2026, and the entire Ummah was gonna convert. Limes and Stripes
I have that she was playing with dolls clip just on my phone as my ringtone.
Limes and Stripes said, "Don't send David an email. He doesn't read them. I read some of them. I don't respond to."
He read mine.
Huh? Yeah. So I'll read some of them, and then I'll respond to the ones that seem like most time sensitive or something like that. But yeah, I'm definitely not good at that. Nabil told me, and this was like 13, 14 years ago. He said, "Dude, you need to get an assistant. You can find cheap people who just, you pay them for a few hours a week to go through your stuff and then tell you, here's what you need to respond to and stuff." And I'm like, I don't trust people to make those decisions for me, man. So anyway, weird stuff. Kangaroo tastes like venison. It's very nice. Yum. Okay. Well, I know what venison tastes like. That's good. You consciously corrected my last super chat. Here's my jizya. Oh yeah, I did. AP, you were once a Muslim. Could you see yourself in another reality as a Dawah guy instead of an atheist who became a Christian apologist?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
You would be the best of Dawas. You learn something new every day. Today I learned about camelade. That's good stuff. In Australia, how dare you preach the gospel on church grounds? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Please react to the Islamic dilemma, Al-Zut, David Sagara. It is hilarious. Love you guys, not in the Al-Zut sense. You mean, is that like a specific video? The Islamic dilemma, Al-Zut?
Islamic dilemma, Al-Zut.
Islamic dilemma, Al-Zut, David Sagara. Okay, I took a screenshot of that. And here we have a super sticker, not falling for it and reading it. Make Australia again.
Yeah.
They said something very rude there.
Pauline Hanson's on it.
How dare you preach the gospel? It's Islamophobic, don't you know? I'm so over the you hurt my feelings. I am a victim, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Again, it's exactly the way things were here. It's exactly the way things were here, and people are finally moving a little past that.
I was going to say, in all fairness, on that night, it was the white people and the event crew who were more offended than the Muslims in their reactions towards us.
Mm-hmm.
They're not true white people.
Yeah. And you have that as well. You have white people thinking that non-white people all around the world think exactly the way they do, and that they are the protectors of all the non-white people who would be super easily offended, and therefore they have to rush to their defense. It's called white savior syndrome.
Yep.
They were never true white people to begin with.
David, same question. You became a Christian in prison. Many men convert to Islam there. As a thought experiment, could you see yourself converting then? Jihad, David, sounds worse than atheist David. No, I pointed that out before. I pointed that out like when Muslims are like, oh, look at all this stuff you did. You're so evil, so horrible. Like when I was 18. Okay, what happened after that? Well, why did I stop doing that stuff? Why? Like something happened. And it's like, okay, the only thing we can point to that happened was I became a Christian. What if I had become a Muslim? What then? What would have happened? I'd have been. I don't think I could have remained because I would have noticed that there's no evidence supporting it. I would have noticed that eventually, and I would have noticed that all the arguments fall apart. So I don't think I could have like lasted as a Muslim, even if they had duped me at the beginning or something like that. Don't think I would have lasted. If it did, yeah, I'd have probably ended up joining some like Al-Shabaab or something eventually, or I don't know.
I would have thought you would have become the next caliph.
Yeah, I would have. They'd have said, yeah, I'd have converted. 18-year-old psychopath David Wood would have converted. They would have said, this is the greatest Muslim of all time. He's even greater than Muhammad.
He's the Mahdi.
That camel figurine is pretty cool. Yeah, I've kind of like this one. Like, I have no sentimental attachment to stuff. I'm like, I should give this to somebody who really likes Nabil, and I could tell them this is a gift from Nabil. But sometimes I think like, okay, I'm not sentimental, but maybe I'm supposed to be. Like maybe I should deliberately like keep stuff that a normal person would keep. I don't know. It's weird. JP Sears just did a video. Israel is your master now. Might make a good live reaction. AP and IP could do a video and revoke his P card. Yeah, we got AP, IP, and JP. AP, you might want to check that out and cover that tomorrow. Guy looks like Tal, traveling clad. Yeah, a little bit.
Which one?
Huh? You.
Saying me or the other dude that I'm talking to?
You.
Me?
You.
Yeah. Cool. Racist. We're all brown.
Mark Jackson, not Jocko. It's Jacko. Yeah, but isn't it like pronounced more like Jocko? Jocko? Anyway. It is amazing that us Christians have preserved the corrupted books for almost 2,000 years. How do we lose the real gospel so fast? It's nonsensical. Yeah, the books we've preserved them since the 1st century. It's weird that we're so good at preserving books, but somehow we just lost the real important one.
Yep.
Islamic reasoning has max headroom because there's not a lot of space occupied upstairs. Max headroom. That's funny. You brought up Max Headroom. That's around the same time that the Highwaymen and stuff was on. Just finished watching Jay Dyer cook. Captain Tazariak was a complete embarrassment for the Black Hebrew Israelites, but they all think Captain Crunch cooked ignoramuses. That's interesting. Yeah, I met him up in New York. Captain Zarek. He was cool with me. A Muslim making illogical quantum leaps like he's Dukes of Hazzard. He may be a Knight Rider, but he'll get caught in his lies and end up in night court, and then he won't have happy days because he's certainly not the A-team. Okay, everyone's just going full 80s right now. Preach gospel at church, burger in McDonald's next. Yeah, can't have burgers here. Yep, getting an echo. Let's see. St. Benedict's rule.
Always nice to hear David twice.
Yeah. Is St. Benedict's rule better or worse for you than video games? AP.
Why did you say AP?
Because it's St. Benedict's rule, man. That's got to be something you know.
I know. I actually partly read it, and the question just sounds kind of funny. I don't know if what you're asking here.
Yeah.
It's a book of great discipline. I don't know. Make your own decision.
Christian, almost through these real quick. Christian, you can't preach here. This is a church. Yeah, that's a good point. No comment there. Thanks, though. How about sending some Islamic Dilemma onesies for Australia use? Walking billboard time. That would be good. That would be good.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, if anyone wants to wear one to an event, I'll send you one. Allah said not to believe in parts, but Allah doesn't know anything. What he really meant was Islam is buffet. Take as much or as little as you want. That's the issue. Allah says, here's how things work, and they do the opposite, so he must mean something else. And then we have Junior's my favorite Christian apologist. He's everyone's favorite Christian apologist, ladies and
He's the best, man.
He's the greatest.
Yeah.
All right, back to this video.
You said he had it in his possession. So I said, show it to me where it says he had it in his possession, and I knew you'd bring this hadith. At the time, yes, he had it with him. But if I came to you and I said, can you get me the Bible that's in with your possession? And you say to me, yeah, no worries. And then you go to your mate and say, can I have your Bible? Well, it's not in your possession.
Okay,
right?
but
do you get what I mean?
At that moment, in that time, he had it there.
He had it, yeah.
Okay. So we went a long way around, he had it there. That's the point.
But it wasn't in his possession.
Okay. But he had the Torah at the time.
Not holding to anyone else's words.
He had the Torah at his time there.
Yeah.
He also had the Injil in the same way.
That's right.
At the time there. Now, what Muhammad says in Surah 5, he says that, okay, in verse 68, from verse 40 to 68, pretty much that whole entire section, he says to the Jews and the Christians, he's saying, unless you stand on the Torah and the Injil, you have nothing to stand on.
He says, unless if you follow it, you have nothing to stand on.
I'll show you the actual verses, right? Because I don't want to butcher it and I don't want to mischaracterize, right?
Fine.
So, O people of the book, you have nothing to stand on unless you observe the Torah, the gospel, and what has been revealed to you, right? So, unless you observe the Torah and the gospel,
you have nothing to stand on.
You have nothing to stand on.
So what's the argument? Like, what's the actual argument?
The argument is this. I come up here.
Because you're just asking a question. Like, I want you to make an argument.
The argument is this. Muhammad has nothing bad to say about the Torah and the gospel. Okay. But all your da'is say the Bible...
No. The Torah and the gospel?
Yeah.
No Muslim. It's a tenet of faith. We have 6 tenets of faith.
All right.
One of them says... No, because... Brother, please. I'm going to hold you to your words.
Okay.
You said if you don't follow the Torah and the gospel, you're saying people don't believe in it. If anyone walks down and you ask them, do you believe in the Torah and gospel, and they say no, he's not a Muslim anymore.
I know.
You understand that?
The word gospel being...
No.
Hey, you're making a lot of noise.
What is that?
Aussie Ape, you're making a lot of noise. I don't know what's happening.
Hold on.
Yeah. What are you doing there? Are you scratching your phone?
Oh no, it started heavily raining.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hold on. Just let me mute myself and keep going.
Okay. Can you pause the rain for a little bit until we're done?
They should be happy that it's raining down there in one giant desert.
Yeah.
John with gospel.
Do you know what do you call Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in Arabic?
Johanna.
No. In Arabic,
Injil.
You call it the Injil. Singular.
Kitab Muqaddas.
Yeah. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Most people I speak to is Kitab Muqaddas.
Is the word Injil?
I'm Lebanese too, by the way.
Is the word Injil Arabic word by origin?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
In its
It's a
usage, of course
it's
Arabic.
not. It's
Do
a
you think that was
trans. It's
speaking to
a
Polish people?
it's a
and learning from-
transliteration
from
of the Greek.
Do you
Euangel.
think, so do you
Euangel.
think, do you think that it was coming from, do you think that Allah, he revealed that intended to Greek people?
No, it was in Greek originally, transliterated the
When
word.
we're
I'm talking about the
arguing
word.
against each other,
Yeah.
we have to still man each other's positions
Yeah.
and argue that.
Yes,
right
I
now you're
understand.
not doing that.
No, because
My
you
position-
were
no, no, no,
you were
let me
being
explain.
clear
No, let me
saying
explain.
you were being clear
My
saying
position-
gospel, singular.
How
gospel,
is that a rule, man?
Gospel.
You wouldn't say there's a single gospel.
Historically,
But you wouldn't say there's a single gospel.
we do.
So
The
is
gospel.
Mark a single gospel?
Matthew,
Come on, this
Mark.
is like the Trinity now. Mark is one gospel.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and
And
John.
they're one gospel.
No, Matthew, Mark,
Come
Luke, and
on,
John
bro.
are accounts of the gospel. If you're knowledgeable, explain. What is the word in Greek for the name of the Gospel of John?
Yeah,
What
the
is
good
it?
word.
No. What is the
Injil?
name? No.
Which one?
It's katan Mattheon.
No, which word?
The word for the book of Matthew.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Greek.
For Matthew, yeah.
Katan Mattheon.
Yeah.
Then you had Mark. Katan Mark. Right? Now in the Greek,
Ew.
they were called.
At this point, you should have.
No,
At this
listen.
point, you should have said. At this point, you should have said, "How you don't even know? You don't even know them."
Oh,
Oh my gosh, he's a double
you
guy,
are not
doesn't know.
worthy to be in my presence. You see, this is the ignorance of Muslims.
Bro, you gotta listen,
It's not
man.
answering my question.
It's
not.
getting there. You gotta
no
build the plane to
No
land
problem,
it.
no problem. All right.
So when you have the Greek books, right? Katan Mattheon, Katan Marcus, Katan Lucas, Katan Johannes, right? Johann, right? These books literally mean the account of the gospel according to Mark, according to Luke. So different eyewitnesses of the gospel message. The gospel literally means good news, right? So if you have 4 different people who are giving an account of an event, does that then disregard and negate the event from happening?
Really good point. Really good point. You catch that, guy? Oh, you got 4 gospel. Oh, so we have 4. We have 4 reports of this stuff. So 4's worse than 1?
Apparently.
Right. So you have 4 people.
Injil the event? Or
Yes,
is it
the Injil.
accounts of the event.
The Injil is the event.
No, brother.
It's the gospel.
So when
It's the
Jesus-
gospel message.
so
When we
when
talk about the
Jesus-
gospel, we say the good news of what Jesus came to do. He died on the cross. He rose from the dead. That's pretty much the
So
gospel.
Mark is only a
So
part of the gospel.
they're witnesses. They're eyewitnesses of the account.
So how many parts
See,
of the
you're
gospel do
talking
you
about
have?
steel
'Cause we
manning
have
and
all
you're
the-
straw
No,
manning.
I'm trying to ask you.
No.
How many parts
It's-
of the gospel do we have? Because there's
Here we
Mark,
go with
Matthew, Luke,
parts.
John, there's Romans, Galatians, Colossians.
They're not gospels.
What's with the Muslim
They're letters,
fixation
bro.
on parts?
So they're not.
What's that?
I was saying, what is with the Muslim fixation on parts? They always come up with parts.
And it's
They
just
like body
amazing because
parts.
Allah flips out over the idea of only believing in parts.
No.
Oh, man, I thought you
You
know
would say
this
that's
stuff.
the gospel, right?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are eyewitness accounts of the gospel.
We're talking about what you believe is the Bible, yes?
The New
What are we talking
Testament.
about?
New Testament
New
is
Testament,
different to when you're speaking specifically of the Injil, right?
He's not even listening. He's not even listening. He's completely ignoring everything Abe is saying. It's like it's pain. I now understand what you mean when you say it was the.
It was. I said to my wife after this, don't ever complain about childbirth again. This was good.
It's pretty messed up.
You know, it's funny because you said in your message, you said you gave a timestamp and you said this is one of the most painful things ever, or something like that. And I just skimmed it for a thumbnail, but I saw you with the cops, and I was like, oh, must have been something with the cops. But nope, it was conversation with this guy.
Yeah.
The Injil.
Right, then let's stick to Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John.
Okay, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and
Is
John
Mark
are the
a
4
gospel?
accounts
Yes or no?
and eyewitnesses.
Is Mark a gospel, yes or no?
You're not listening.
Brother, you're not
Accounts
answering.
of the
This
gospel.
is my original question. You're not answering.
Accounts of the
Is
gospel. Witnesses of the gospel.
So it's not the gospel.
It is a witness of the gospel
Brother,
message.
it's either yes or no. It is
It's
or
not a
it's
yes
not
or
the
no
gospel.
because you're not listening.
He's
How
making
is
the
that-
rule.
It is
Play
the
by the
gospel,
rules.
It's not the gospel. How does that make sense to you?
All right.
Sounds like the Trinity.
All right, explain it to me
It
this
is-
way. Explain it to me this way then, from your epistemology. from the Quran's version, what is the gospel then, and where does the Quran say what the gospel is? Yeah, I'm asking you.
Now we're moving so far from my question.
No, because you don't want to answer that. Because
no, you didn't answer my. No, brother, don't run away now, because this is what annoys me. Answer my question directly.
I answered it like 5 times.
So Mark is not the gospel. That's what you said, yes?
Brother, it's an account. It's an account of the gospel.
No. If it's an account of the gospel, then it is not the gospel.
What is the gospel?
Brother, listen.
I said it's the good news of Jesus Christ.
I'm not listening. You said to me that the gospel is the account of Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. Yes.
The gospel message is accounted as from the eyewitnesses. Right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John historically have been.
It's one gospel.
It's one gospel. We have one. We don't have 20 million gospels.
So
we don't have 20 million different.
For those who are confused by what he's actually trying to do here, is he's applying his Muslim perspective and his Muslim understanding and Muslim description of what the gospel is supposed to be, and thereby expecting a proper and expecting an answer from Abe. So for those who don't understand what the Muslim expectation is that Muslims impose onto the discussion here, you might not understand it, but what he's trying to do here is, according to Muslims, the gospel is this text that was given to Jesus. So you have to now, therefore, accept that as a necessary foundation to then show them what the gospel is. If you tell them what the gospel actually is, because they are ignorant and their description of it is actually wrong, then they will not accept your answer because you're not comforting to their expectation of what the gospel is. This is what he's trying to do. He's trying to appeal to his Muslim beliefs and his Muslim audience, and thereby trying to establish which book specifically is the gospel that Islam is talking about, because that's the only gospel there is. That's what he's doing here.
Yeah. And then he accuses us later of trying to marry up our belief of the gospel to his, which was ridiculous.
The irony.
Gospel.
No. My goodness.
So Mike is not the gospel. I can't say Mike is the gospel.
If there's a car accident and 4 different people see it, and they all give you an account of the event.
Yes, 4 accounts of the one event.
How many events were there?
4 accounts of the one event.
That's what we're talking about.
So is it one
There's 4
book?
accounts of one event.
Is it one book or 4 books?
There are 4 books.
Because let's just say if they wrote 4 different paragraphs, I wouldn't say it's one paragraph. I would say it's 4 different paragraphs. Of
There's 4 books of one event.
So is each book is not the gospel.
Each book is accounting the gospel. Brother, I don't understand how you're not getting it.
It either is the gospel or it's not the gospel.
How do you?
Because what you're trying to do, you're trying to marry up your beliefs of the gospel singular to my belief. You guys always claim that Muslims, we're trying to copy you guys and we're trying to come to your Bible.
I didn't say that.
Brother,
what I said was Muhammad had nothing but good things to say about the gospel.
I agree, and I said the same thing.
Right. So
I love the gospel.
I
was a Muslim, I read the gospel and I became Muslim.
Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that.
I love that you called him right there. I doubt that, right? Because they're we know they're trained. They're just trained to like make things up and lie, but they always do this. Yes, I read the gospel, and that's why I converted to Islam. And he don't even know what the gospel. He don't even know what the gospel is and stuff. So what do you actually talk? What did you read? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So you're reading about Jesus dying on the cross for sins and so on. You're like, yes, this makes me want to be a Muslim. Jesus is the Son of God who died on the cross for sins. Like what?
Who was it? I think it was it Ahmadiyya or Shabir Ali, one of them who said something similar that they saw an Islamic book as they were reading the Bible. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, that's one of the scripts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, if you read the gospel where Jesus is saying, I am the way, the truth, the life, no one comes to the Father except through me, and then you go to Muhammad, it completely contradicts.
No, when I read it, I saw an Islamic book.
Where?
In the book.
What in the Bible is Islamic?
We're running away from what we were talking about.
No, you just said something.
No, you've done this 3 times now, I've been counting.
Like he made a claim, it doesn't want me pressing the claim. Like he made a claim, I press him on his claim, he's like, oh no, you're running away from the topic.
You're not answering.
Brother, this is gaslighting.
Say yes or no. Is Mark...
Brother, Surah 1, Surah 2, Surah 3, Surah 4. When you say, I'm going to read from the Quran today, and you're looking at all these different
Now you're
chapters.
strawmanning me.
That's not a straw
No, you
man.
are, because it's a completely different. It's a non sequitur.
Brother, if
Because
I say-
I'm asking you
if
about
I say-
no,
if-
answer my
if
question.
my brother-
stop, brother. You're not even listening to me. I'm asking you. If you ask me, I say no. That's a part of the Quran. I'm asking you. Is Mark
completely point.
a part of the gospel, or is it the gospel?
It's explaining.
Or is it a gospel?
It's
I've given you 3
explaining.
or 4 different
It's
options.
explaining from one person's perspective the totality of the gospel message. He's explaining
explain to me
Jesus'
what the gospel is
teachings, his death, and his resurrection. That's the
Now,
gospel.
explain to me what's the gospel. What are you talking
The
about? What
gospel is
that
the good news of Jesus' teachings, death,
So if
and
I write
resurrection.
about Jesus dying and resurrecting, that's the gospel?
Yes.
If I go right now and write about Jesus dying and resurrecting, that's the
You
gospel?
are proclaiming the gospel.
Oh my Yo, that's crazy. If
That's
I
the
go
gospel.
with my own
I'm
hands,
here when I said let's go
no
preach
one
the
would
gospel.
Agree with you. No one would.
Why?
Yeah, because you're
Why?
reading from what?
I'm reading from the Bible.
Ah, so the Bible is the gospel, yes?
Yes.
But if I write to you, I'm going to ask you again. You can go back on it and you can cut out that blunder you just made. If
What
I write,
blunder?
because I asked
Right,
you.
when I
if
go to
stop,
church
stop.
and I preach
No,
the
no,
gospel,
stop, listen to me. No, dude, listen.
I'm preaching
If
from
I
the
write on a
gospel.
I asked you, if I write on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
Jesus died and resurrected. You said that's the
Brother,
gospel.
you got to work on your arguments, man. It's so bad.
You said that's the gospel.
Bro, your
You're not
logic
even
is
answering
bad,
now. You're
brother.
back.
Dude, gospel means good news. The good news, the good news is that Jesus Christ died on the cross for sins and rose from the dead, and he's Lord. That's the gospel, right? And that can be a spoken message, so you can preach the gospel, but it was written down in the first century. The accounts of the gospel were written down, and yet they can't get their minds they can't get their minds around the idea that their thinking about what the gospel is just it has no connection to reality. Like, here's what I think the gospel is. Oh, you're saying it's something else. Ha, that makes no sense. What's in your head that you got from Islam has no connection to reality whatsoever.
You know, it's kind of like this. You could make the same thing in a way. Similarly, you could point it out with Muslims. Muslims will refer to the names of Allah, and will, for example, say that Allah is al-Haq, which means the truth. But they will also believe that the Quran is Haq, right? That the Quran is the truth. So they could take the Quran and say, I will preach to you the Haq, the truth. And you could then just point out and say, wait a minute, are you saying the Quran is the truth? So Allah is not the truth. The Quran is the truth. Ha ha, you just contradicted yourself.
They can't even decide what the truth is. They're so stupid.
Stupid.
What are they stupid?
This is kind of what he's doing here. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Your logic
So
is
what I
bad.
write down is the gospel.
You're
So
right.
I'm an eyewitness of
It's almost done, guys. Got a couple minutes left here.
the gospel?
Bro, you are.
Am I an eyewitness of the gospel?
No, but you're a secondary source from the primary source.
The Bible's a primary source.
Yes.
So what I wrote is the Injil.
No.
Because
No.
brother,
You
you just blundered
no.
so
No.
badly.
No.
You just
You're not
said-
creating a new
and if you cut
Injil,
this
brother.
out- if you cut this out,
Brother,
I'm gonna get
you are
everyone
not-
on this.
Man.
You just blundered so badly. You said don't cut me off.
No.
You said if I write down on the piece of paper that Jesus died and resurrected, I asked you, is that the gospel? You said yes.
You are
Now you're backtracking.
proclaiming the gospel.
Is that the gospel?
That's
if
the
you
good
cut that out
news.
of your video, that blunder,
That's the good
I'm
news.
gonna bake you.
That's good news. That's what gospel means. Good news.
Is it the
You can
gospel
preach it.
in the...
You can write it. You can. I mean, I don't know. This dude's weird. It's like, can you recite the Quran?
Very.
Yes. Can you have a copy of the Quran? Oh, they're different things. Oh my goodness. Oh, you make no sense.
I bring that up right now to him.
Oh, good.
That's
Don't
the
cut that-
gospel,
I do edit for him. Don't cut that out of the video.
brother.
You
That's the
blundered.
gospel.
No one wants. I mean, there might be an inclination to cut things out because this is so terrible, but
Not a single intelligent person actually
for
thinks that's
for
the
you,
most-
dude, it's just bad for you.
Not a single intelligent person actually thinks that the Christian here made a blunder and the Muslim totally has it right. And this is just this whole behavior. It's so common with the Dawa guys. We know this by now. It's like it's memorized. You have a conversation.
Yeah.
You say hello, and they say hello. And haha, you're gonna cut this out. When you post this, how you said hello to me, you're gonna get humiliated, bro. Everyone will be laughing at you. I beg
Who's
you.
watching this going, oh man, I can't believe Abe screwed this up so bad?
You will probably not even post
this is Abe trying to explain very basic things to someone who is apparently, because of Islam, completely incapable of understanding basic things.
But you will never post this. You see, everyone will start.
It was cut out, but I said to him, I told my 5-year-old daughter this, and she got it first go. Like, wild stuff.
So hard. So if
That's
I
the
write on a piece
gospel.
of paper, is that the gospel?
That's the
Look,
same way.
look,
The same way. If you,
Abraham,
if
I'm
you
an honest
went,
person. Listen,
you're not an honest person because you've been straw manning the whole
brother,
time.
you just said that if I
Brother,
write something on a piece of paper, it's the gospel.
All right,
Wait,
if
he
you
was being honest.
imagine
He just
if
lied.
you
be honest
if
with
you
me-
had
No, listen,
Surah
Abraham. I'm gonna be an honest person.
568 and you
My God, he's running.
Listen, man.
Every time
Brother.
there's an issue, he goes to the Quran.
I'm just explaining with an analogy.
Brother,
How
look,
bad
if you
your
be honest with
arguments
me-
are.
If you just be honest with me. yeah?
Imagine
No,
if you
Abraham, listen, 'cause I'm trying
wrote,
to be a good person.
if you wrote, La ilaha
Let him come
illallah.
through, let him come through.
Imagine if you wrote the Shahada, right?
That's not the Quran.
No, I know. Let's say you wrote the Shahada,
Yeah.
right? And you wrote it on a piece of paper. And I say, is that the Shahada? Would you say yes or no?
Well, it depends what you've written.
Brother, if you
can't just
wrote
say,
the
"I wrote
exact thing.
No, you can't just say I wrote the Shahada. I'd have to make sure that it has the proper.
There is no...
Yeah. We're not saying you could mess up the Shahada and would that be the Shahada? It's you've got the Shahada.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, you can be speaking the Shahada, you could be writing the Shahada. Is it the Shahada either way?
I'm getting PTSD watching this again.
Muhammad is his prophet. You write that. Is that the...
That would be funny. That would be a good skit. A guy who goes to a psychiatrist and it turns out he's suffering from PTSD from talking to Dawa guys and it's messing him up mentally.
Maybe a Boom Boom Room episode.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, we have to look at what you're writing.
Oh my
For
God.
some people,
Don't know if you ever saw it. There was a movie called Tropic Thunder. But the movie was funny, but in the movie, Robert Downey Jr. plays. So Robert Downey Jr.'s brown-haired, brown-eyed, but he plays a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Australian actor who's a method actor. So he actually gets surgically altered so he can play a black Vietnam vet. But when they released the movie, they also released a fake documentary about the actor. He played the part so well that he got PTSD. Like, so,
right, yeah.
So it's Robert Downey Jr. It's Robert Downey Jr. playing the Australian actor, Kirk Lazarus or something like that. But he's playing that guy. But they do an entire documentary about how Kirk Lazarus acted the part of the Vietnam vet so well that he got PTSD. And so he was all messed up and he took over the dude's family and lost his mind and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be good.
See that? They don't want to answer questions.
Some people will add to it, some people will take from it.
Just one event. Even though two of you are seeing it and you were both given account, this guy doesn't want to see, he doesn't want to see beyond the semantic game and the gaslighting game.
By the Lord of the universe, I asked him, if I write on a piece of paper...
Hey guys, listen up. Beyond the semantic game,
so at this point, there was a whole crowd of Muslims surrounding us. And I'm like, you know what? It is useless talking to this guy. Let me pull back and just preach to these guys the gospel for a second, because at least something useful will come out of this. But it was ridiculous.
Very based, very based. There's only a minute left. Let's see what happens.
The message of Jesus is that Jesus Christ from heaven came, died, rose again, and is now in glory at the right hand of the Father.
It's all right.
That's the gospel message of
All right,
Christ.
let me ask you again.
No.
If
I asked you initially what Muhammad had...
Just please answer my question. One,
right, but I bet that he will never
Islam
post it because he'll be embarrassed. Everyone will be laughing at him. He's never going to
No,
post
he posted it. He posted it, and he's under the impression that he baked me.
This guy's like the The Aussie Junior, man.
No,
He said
He
you
put
saw
up.
me
He
the whole
put up.
night.
He put up a video about how he spanked me. So I commented. I commented under it saying, "What's with the Muslim fixation on spanking men?"
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
I spanked him. I spanked him like the old Zut spanked Muhammad. I spanked him like I spank my child bride.
oh man.
Powerful flex.
that said it was the will
We
of God.
treat the Muslims the way
So
we treat
Abraham,
our
how'd you know?
All right, so
That's pretty much it.
here's the conclusion here.
Well, it was everything we thought it was going to be, right? We got kicked out by council,
Church.
the church. But you know what? We had some lively debates. We had some good discussions.
Yep.
We
to
preached
pray.
the gospel. We got to pray for many people.
Yep.
That's what we were called to do here. And we just pray that the Lord Jesus would actually come, touch the hearts of the people that we did speak to, the seeds that were sown, that He would cause them to grow, and that people would come from darkness to light.
And do you know what? Like, yeah, we're a small group. We were getting attacked. We were getting persecuted left, right, and centre. Like you said, with the council and everything. But we don't report to these people. We report to the Lord.
Amen. Amen.
That's it. See you at the next one.
Amen.
God bless you guys.
God
Yeah.
bless.
Very based, very based.
Basic.
Very good and based.
Yeah. So I got to hone the skills a bit more, but yeah, we'll engage the Muslim community as well. There's Lakemba. There's some other areas as well that are Muslim majorities, like Auburn and Parramatta, Liverpool. Usually, like the west of Sydney is very, very Muslim, high Muslim demographic.
And I have to say, you're not as good as Junior, but still, this is pretty good. I have to say.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna grab some tips from him.
Yeah, he's the gold standard. He's the gold standard on refuting Islam and converting people to Christianity.
Yeah.
No, but that's again like one of the biggest obstacles is Christians thinking, oh, there's the Muslims out there and they have all these responses that I'm not familiar with and so on. It's like, no, they've got like 5 arguments that they use over and over again. There'll be variations of those arguments, but they use the same 5 arguments. They've got a couple weak responses to the Islamic dilemma. Other than that, it's all like smokescreen and Dawa script nonsense and so on. It's like, if you guys go out there and start talking to these guys, yeah, you might be completely unfamiliar with it or something like that. They might say something that catches you guys off guard. And what happens? You go back and look it up. Again, if they only have a handful of arguments, and they got their Dawa script. Everyone out there, because Abe's doing it. There's other people who are like worried. They're worried. Oh no, these guys are going to have all this stuff. Learn the stuff they're going to bring up. Learn the Islamic dilemma, because that's handy in every single situation you're ever going to be in. And other than that, learn as you go. If someone brings something up, like it's like really weird thinking to me, right? Like, what if I go and talk to this Muslim and he brings up something I've never heard before? That is an awesome opportunity. Some Muslim brings up something you've never heard before. You say, "Wow, I've never heard that. Never thought about that. Would you mind if I went and did a little research into that and then got back to you? Could I come back like next week and we could actually meet over coffee and then we could discuss that?" And now you've got the next discussion set up and stuff. And it's like, guys, it's like wide open. It's wide open. You just need Christians who aren't like kicking other Christians off the property and stuff.
But not like Muhammad on the night of Al-Sud.
Yeah.
No.
Just use a basic Socratic method, asking them questions, kind of where Christians are fairly uncomfortable with the polemic side of things. So like, they're like, "Oh, you ask us about Christianity, yeah, sure, but they're not really good with, all right, let me push someone else's belief a little to the line and to the line of like, this might be disrespectful, but you got to do it."
And that's another reason we tell everyone to learn the Islamic dilemma. More Christians are comfortable with that, right? Because it's a polemic, but it's a much more comfortable for most Christians polemic, because you're not like attacking Muhammad or something like that. And you could do it all just by asking questions like, "Oh, really? You said this? What do you do with this verse right here? Why would Allah say it like this?" And so they don't feel like they're attacking, even though it's it's a huge attack on Islam. So, yep, everyone learn the Islamic dilemma. Come on.
Yeah. And then if that doesn't work, just bring up Aisha.
Yeah. You can lead out with that too, depending on the situation. All right, we'll take these last couple super chats, and then we'll be out, guys. Does Allah know about the synoptic problem, or the long ending of Mark, or Paul not meeting Jesus? It would have been easy to mention these things. Yeah, Allah doesn't know a lot. I mean, he doesn't know a lot about what went on with the Quran and stuff like that. But the takeaway is that Allah is apparently okay with it. Like Muslims say, oh, you have textual variants in your manuscripts. Yeah, and Allah affirmed it. So Allah apparently doesn't have a huge problem with it. The Islamic Dilemma Al-Zut. Is that the video I'm supposed to watch? Hang on. Is that on YouTube? The Islamic Dilemma Al-Zut. Now I see the Islamic Dilemma song. Oh, here I see it. Okay, the song by Agnostic X. The Islamic Dilemma Al-Zut. And oh, that's why you mentioned David Segata, because it's got me on the guitar. All right, I've got that pulled up. I will check that out. Let's see. Junior, A Tale of Two Dawas. He was the best of Dawa. He was the worst of Dawa. That's good. Just call the gospel verified Sahih Isnad for the gospel. If they reject that terminology, they would need to reject Sahih Hadiths and Sunnah as well.
You could kind of flesh it out and actually make a good point with that.
Mm-hmm. Uniting Church, that explains it. Very much a buffet-style denomination. I don't know enough to comment.
Yeah, they've divided here in Australia. A lot of them pretty much they ordain homosexuals. They're very progressive, liberal in their theology.
Ladies and gentlemen, that Dawa man is the product of 14 centuries of cousin marriage. Very rude, and it saddens me that someone would ever say such a thing on this channel. Jacko,
hey,
not Jocko. Jacko, not Jocko. Aussie rules, not soccer. Get it right. Unacknowledged American. Aussie Abe is from Sydney and thus ignorant, probably not aware of true football like the Americans.
Yes. Soccer and rugby.
Mr. Rob Hemp. Hey, Mr. Rob Hemp, you're about to get banned here, man.
It's called
saying
football.
Some messed up stuff. Jocko. As I understand it in Greek, in Greek, Evangelion is not just any good news, but specifically the proclamation of military victory or a new emperor. Yeah, that's in its Greco-Roman context. It's interesting. You have two different contexts of it. You have the Greco-Roman context when yes, it's a new emperor is ascending the throne. The news of that went out was the Evangelion. Huge military victory. The news, because keep in mind, guys, it's not like the internet. No phone calls. If you guys win this awesome military victory and you're worried about these barbarians invading and the legions go out to fight them and they're 800 miles away, how do you find out? Someone has to come and proclaim that. That proclamation was called the Evangelion. That's its Greco-Roman context, but it also had a Jewish context because they translated the Old Testament into Greek, and the word Evangelion is in the Greek of the book of Isaiah, and there in that context it referred to God, the news that God was bringing His people out of captivity, and that He was returning to the temple to be their king, and it's like you. So yeah, Evangelion is not just any random type of good news. It's not like, oh, I found $1. What's this Evangelion? No, it's not that type of good news. It's like really, really big things. And what's amazing there is you look at what Islam teaches about Jesus, there's none of it. There's none of it there. In other words, if the Islamic view of Jesus was what happened in the first century, it makes no sense to use the word because it's not the right type of it's not the right type of news. It's a technical term. It's a technical term for certain kinds of good news, and those kinds of good news have nothing to do with anything that happened in Islam, as far as Jesus. Yeah. And so Allah doesn't even know what word He's supposed to be using here.
I brought that up with Yusuf in one of the parts that we had to cut out because it was way too long. But I said, without the gospel that's substantiated in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you can't substantiate what the gospel is from the Quran alone. There's nothing there. There's zero information about what it was that was revealed from Allah to Jesus. So you need the Bible. You need Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. You need Matthew to Revelation to even understand the Christian message at all. Because you got, seriously, the Quran is just a blank on so much information. It mentions the gospel, doesn't tell you anything about it. It mentions the Torah, doesn't tell you anything about it. It mentions Abraham, gets all the information wrong anyway. But it's
and other
it's a
things as well.
ridiculous
Jesus is the Messiah. What's that mean? No clue.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Wild stuff. All right. Couple more. Abe, the issue is you're arguing from a logical, consistent standpoint, but Islam is resistant to ideas like consistency and logical progression. I think with Islam, you need to attack the heart. That's funny. They're saying we're apologists. We're trying to defend logical arguments, and
yeah, it's true.
Smoke screen, and the Bandit, Zoot Bound and Down. These guys probably don't even remember Smokey and the Bandit, man. Let's see. You guys are awesome. That's true. And we have Abe. You did great. Looking forward to more. Oh yeah, that's good. And that should be super encouraging. Seeing that many people watch your video when your channel just started. That's crazy.
It was not the worst thing I've seen, I have to say.
Thanks, AP.
Should open a clown school for former Dawa to help them. Would be charitable and successful. Teach a man to fish and all that. Yeah, and they'd already have some basic clown skills. So yeah, that could be a.
Didn't God Logic just recently go to one of the Islamic centers in Texas, I think? And they had like a basketball court, and they teach kids some skills.
Well, didn't see that. Sounds like something. Sounds like something you do. So yeah, it makes sense. All right, guys. Wrapping up here. AP, any final thoughts on all this before we close out? Any advice?
I think that a lot of brain cells died tonight, and I wish they had not. But that said, it was a good experience, and I think you're good at this, Aussie. David doesn't want to say it because he's a psychopath, but I will say it. I think you were good at this, and you should continue. And although you don't get through to that slow guy, you might reach a lot of other people. So it's very encouraging.
Appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Final thoughts on anything, man? Anything you want to tell people? I got a link to your channel and to that video.
Yeah, we're actually going to do some breakdowns on those two major conversations on the channel. So probably this week we'll put one out talking about breaking down the conversation I had with the first Dawa guy. And the week after I'll put another one up breaking down the second. And then we're actually going to go to Bondi where the terrorist attack happened. We're going to kind of reach the Jewish community too and do some work there. But I think the Islamic thing is the hot button topic, and I think we are going to try to push some more of that. So
and what would really be awesome for Australia is because it kind of I mentioned what actually changed people's mind about the approach you take with Muslims was seeing which approach was leading to Muslims leaving Islam and converting to Christianity. That's where people were like, okay, we've been told this is the wrong approach, but everyone we see leaving Islam, it's because these guys were using this approach. So what would be awesome is if it happens down there, right? Like all these guys, no, don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. And you guys keep going around and stuff like that. And then people catch on. Wow, this actually works, unlike everything else that we're doing. And just think of this big brain idea. We go out and we preach the gospel and we critique Islam. And shocker, Muslims hear all this stuff about the gospel and about Islam that they didn't know, and then they start seeing the problems with Islam, and they leave Islam. Oh my goodness! Wow, this big brain idea. Weird stuff, man. AP, they said I missed your joke, and then you said I missed most jokes. So what's the joke?
Nothing. It's not worth
What's the
explaining.
joke, man?
You already missed it. It's not worth explaining. It's not funny when you explain it.
Well, just tell me. Just say the joke. Don't explain it. Just say the joke.
I don't know what it was.
Oh, okay. Well, must not have been very funny. Watching AP and David for about almost 3 years now, and I have got no IQ left. Well, AP does have that effect on people. And Ash here says, put him in touch with me before talking to Jews. That's cool.
That's a good idea. Ash,
yeah, would love that, actually. Yeah, well, more than happy to connect. Where is Ash Australian?
No, he's American.
No. Okay. Cool. All right.
You can look at that
Definitely
guy and tell that is American. That's an American dude. All right, everyone. Thanks to Aussie Abe for the work he's doing. Check out his new channel. Be sure to subscribe and share that video as well. Share that as video. We share that video. We need that. Yep. We need that sort of thing spreading in Australia.
Yeah. Before we turn into a Sharia hellhole.
Yep.
Yes.
No more. The world has enough Sharia hellholes, ladies and gentlemen. We do not need Australia to become one. All right. Catch y'all next time.